Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Nikki B.
Hi, Diamond Lil. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Let me just get rid of that.
I'm good.
Oh, let me mute my phone.
I just got notified that you went live.
What? Oh my gosh.
What?
Hold on, Diamond. I think. Okay, there. It's gone. I must have had YouTube open.
Oh.
Amateur hour here. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. Lot going on, huh?
Yeah.
There's a storm a brewing, I think, Diamond.
I can feel it.
I can feel it. I can feel it. How's it go? In the air tonight.
I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
Oh, hold on.
Hold on.
Well, let's say hi to some beautiful people that are in chat.
Okay.
Liam, good to see you. Storm clouds gathering. You guys, have you guys had storms in your areas? Because here in Michigan, it got black as night and poured, and now the sun's back out.
Yep. We had a rain shower here where I am in Maine. Hi, Awakened Trillium.
Hi, Twinkle Eye 62.
Hiram Carr. Good evening.
Diane B, hello.
Jamie Boberski. Hello, my friend.
Crystal Chatwood, good to see you.
B-Dog. Hello.
Frank Stein, good to see you.
Sharon Whitmore. Good evening.
Let's see. Sassy Cat, good to see you.
Kim Haggerty. Good evening.
Alive and kicking. If this goes on until next election, I will not vote, period. Well, that's not, I wouldn't suggest you do that.
Right.
It's your God-given right to vote, but you do you.
Yeah.
Good to see you alive and kicking.
John McLaughlin. Good evening.
Melinda Ritchie, hello.
Proud Army Mom. Hello there.
John Dunning, good to see you, brother.
Baba Morris. Hi, Baba.
Love you, Baba. Kickin' Bird, good to see you.
Jersey Joe. Hi, my friend.
Hey, Jersey Joe. EOT, love you, girl.
Let's see. Sharon Mercier. Good evening.
Corn Patch keeping the faith. Hello. Welcome.
Hebrew Hammer. Hi. Shalom. Hello.
Where are you?
I'm down at 646.
Oh, Jamie Babursky. Hello. You skipped a whole.
Oh, no, we already did, Jamie.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Did you do Kim Haggerty?
I did.
Oh, my goodness. Where am I?
Lone Wolf 1. Hi.
Hey, Lone Wolf. Linda Kirksey. Hello.
Carol Z. Good evening.
Hey, Clayton. Good to see you. I like the name Clayton.
Parker. I know. Hi, Alicia Parker.
Zoe Bonnie. Hello.
Ronald Hendricks. Hello there.
Let's see. Engine 10. Hey, good to see you.
Ingrid Rubio. Hello.
Oops. Wolfpack 6. Hey. Hope all is well.
Diane Valenzuela. Good evening.
Brighter day. Hi.
Let's see. Laughs a lot. Hi there.
Did we say hello to Melinda Powers?
I think we Melinda Ritchie, but not Melinda Powers.
Well, good evening, Melinda Powers.
Rubber Toe, good evening.
Ken M., good to see you.
Let's see. Garden Lady, good evening.
Marilyn Ponomarenko.
Oh!
Hey, Marilyn.
Linda Marie, hello.
Hi, Joy. Good to see you.
Jody Terry, long time no see. Hi, Jody.
Why don't I see Jody?
She's down at 650.
There she is. Hi, Sandy. Good to see you.
Mima Patriot, hello.
Camel Carl. The motorcade that went to the Miami courthouse today sure looked presidential to me. Me too.
Oh, yeah, goodness gracious. I was watching Freedom Jeffrey, I think's his name, and he was out by where the motorcade, Trump and them went underneath the building into the courthouse underneath. And so he was there when they were coming out, and before his car came out, probably a couple minutes, I was talking to Nikki, and out come these 5 or 6 guys. I can't remember how many, but they had helmets. They looked like a SWAT team. Helmets, long rifles, vests, and they look like ammunition vests, but it was something to see. Those were some tough dudes, I'll tell you.
They're not messing around, I'll tell you. They're protecting him.
Yep, they got into a black Suburban that was out on the street there, but it was right there where when he pulls out, they either went in front of him or behind him.
Hi, Sherry Tackett. Tactic. Am I saying it right?
Yep, Tackett. Tackett. Yeah.
I'm just going to go quick here. Lucy Work.
Shireen J.
Brian Smith.
There we go.
Hi. Welcome, all of you. Did we say hi to Laughs a Lot?
I think, I don't think so.
Hi, Laughs a Lot.
Vicky Sorrells, hi.
Sandy Martin, hello.
Hilarious too, hi.
B-Dog. I think we said hi to B-Dog, though. Hello, B-Dog. All right. I think we covered everybody.
Yeah, I think we did. Bambi, yes. Last one in.
Oh, hey, Bambi, yes. All right. We got 5 minutes and 11, 10, 9, 8 seconds for Trump. So
okay.
I'm watching for him.
All right.
Diane Venezuela. There was a Mr. T hater who ran in front of the motor. Yeah, you were talking about that, Diamond. Tell that story.
Well, he was in the crowd earlier. Benny Johnson was playing a clip of him. He was dressed in prison gear, and he was yelling at I don't remember his name, but he's been on the show with him with Benny Johnson before, Forgiato or something like that. He's an African-American guy, but a nice guy. And he was, yelling for Trump, and the guy in the prison outfit was yelling opposite, how he should be in prison, and he was yelling at this guy, but this guy wasn't paying attention to him. So the next thing I know, Benny Johnson's playing a video of this guy in the prison outfit who, idiot, ran in front of the motorcade, almost in front of Trump's vehicle, and he found out pretty quick he shouldn't have done that.
They tackle him to the ground?
Oh, they grabbed him and dragged him. Well, they dragged him off the side of the road, and then they nailed him down on the ground face first, and they took care of business.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah,
I'll have to go look for that video. I didn't see it.
It was wonderful. Mm-hmm.
It was wonderful.
It was, because people in Benny's chat, they go, that guy's not going to have to change his outfit.
He's going to check in as inmate number 654327.
Yeah.
Give him the number he's wearing.
If you go on to Benny Johnson's video, I think he had a 3-hour video today. Towards the end, you'll see it. He also played Jake Tapper having a meltdown on CNN about Trump stopping at that bakery on his way out of the courthouse. Yeah.
Let's see. Hi, Onami. Good to see you. Claire Lyons, welcome. Good to see you. All right, let's see. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. He's not live yet, though.
Okay.
But the timer's not counting down anymore.
All right.
Just so we can be ready for him.
Oh, Diane Valenzuela says, Nikki B, how about number 6142023?
Okay. That works.
That's his birthday.
I was just making up numbers in my head.
Well, today is the number 17 if you add everything.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. That's awesome.
Cupcake Girl says, after 2 weeks of back pain, I have no more pain. Yes, Cupcake Girl.
Listen, the weather's warm right now, and bugs are back. Let me show you this. Right now, you can get a powerful...
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator Hawley.
What the heck is this?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Abadi, let me just stay with you. You just started to answer Senator Blackburn's question that not releasing the 1023 or talking about it as a matter of life and death. Question of life and death, you said. Explain.
It is potentially a question of life and death
for whom?
With regard to the source of the information.
So, okay, so now we've confirmed that the document exists. That's progress because the FBI director initially denied that it exists. Why did he do that?
We have already and previously acknowledged the existence of the documents.
Yeah, after you first denied it. Now, when a member of this committee read it, right, the FBI director, let's just get the record straight. The FBI director initially said it doesn't exist. Then Senator Grassley said, I've read it. Then he said, oh, okay, well, gotcha. I guess it does exist. Now you're going back and forth with members of this committee. What's in it? Why don't you just release it? Is it classified?
The document is not classified.
Okay. Will you commit to releasing it?
Senator, we'll take that back and we will work with you in this committee.
How about just a yes or no? Will you commit to releasing this unclassified document that alleges that the President of the United States, has taken $5 million or more in bribes from a foreign nation?
The document has already been released pursuant to a subpoena to the House Oversight Committee.
Uh-huh. What's going on?
I don't know how that happened, you guys. I am so sorry.
It's not your fault if somebody switched or something.
I don't know how it would. You seen I was sharing it on my screen.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it went to that. It was bizarre.
Interesting.
It was almost like they wanted us to watch it or something. Okay. All right. Well, we'll just wait on Mr. T here. Per usual, we're always waiting on Mr. T. That was really bizarre, Diamond.
I know. That is weird.
Well, I don't want to start playing other things I have because then he'll probably go live. So
yeah,
I guess we'll just need to chit chat.
Oh no.
Not chit chat. Hey, Ramon.
All right, thanks for joining us on
This
Oh.
historic Tuesday night, we are live here in Bedminster, New Jersey for our continual coverage of the indictment from President Donald J. Trump. Hello, everybody. Brian Glenn here once again as we continue to follow this story. Earlier today, as you might have watched, we were live there in Miami in front of that federal courthouse as President Trump made an appearance there and pled not guilty to the charges there. And I know that earlier we had Christina Bobb, Vanessa Broussard, and Liz Willis kind of breaking down the situation there from the courthouse. About 300 people attended outside the courthouse. And I was talking off camera to someone very different than the appearance that he had in New York of just a few months ago, as far as I would say the crowd there in Miami was much more optimistic with President Trump. A lot of supporters there in South Florida, as you can imagine, versus what we saw in New York City when he made an appearance there. But we're glad you're joining us. Let me step aside so you can kind of look, check out the scene where we're at right now. We were here a couple of years ago for a big tech announcement that President Trump made. Now this is my second appearance here. So nice to be back here at Bedminster. I wish it was not.
Did any of his kids go? Somebody said Don Jr. was there. I didn't see anybody, but of course too, they didn't give us a good shot. Anybody know if any of his other kids went?
I was in the office all day, so I was hoping you guys could fill me in.
Yeah, I had heard that Don Jr. Made the trip with his dad, but I don't know. Anybody else know anything different?
What's going on with his daughter? Is she totally just turned her back on him?
Yeah, I don't know. She's been awfully quiet.
EOT said she only saw Junior.
Okay, you saw. Okay.
Do you guys want to listen to RSBN talk? I can turn the volume back on if you do.
Safety reasons, Claire Lyon says. Okay.
Digital Hawk, what cult do you speak of? Hi, Chris Miller. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Proud Army Mom says her husband is in with the bad ones. So I think we've kind of discussed that, didn't we? That we think he's.
Oh, the mainstream media called us a cult. Oh, that's cool. This is the cult I want to be with. The people here, right now in my chat. These are my people.
If I'm a cult member, this is the cult I'd like to be a member of.
Yeah.
Camperman, hi.
Hey, Camperman. President expected to speak at 9 p.m. What?
What?
Am I reading this correctly?
Yes. They said 7 o'clock.
They sure did. Oh, man. That's 2 hours from now.
So what are we going to do?
Well, I have some other stuff I can play, but it's not 2 hours worth of stuff. I probably got about an hour worth of stuff.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. Well, let me play this. Let me get rid of this.
Well, it said 7 o'clock.
President Trump expected at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm just reading what's in black and white. I don't know.
Yeah, no, he says right on his banner here. President Trump expected at 9 p.m. Eastern. They do that to us a lot, don't they?
Yeah, but why would they be live out there for 2 hours? Like, who wants to sit here and listen to this for 2 hours?
Yeah, because it's the same thing over and over again. I was going to say it didn't look like anybody showed up.
Gina, that would be a good sign to hold out there. I'd stand next to you with that.
What was that?
She said, I'd be there holding my giant sign that hold on, where'd it go? It's jumping. I'd be there holding my giant sign that the present government can kiss my A double hockey stick or A double SS.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
Darn it, I thought I would be able to eat my dinner and show Trump at the same time.
Well, you can still eat when one of the videos is on or something. You have a longer video.
I got a few. Let me just stop sharing screen here. Okay. So this video I'll play. This one's a little bit longer. I saw this yesterday, you guys. There is a 3.5 or 4.5 hour video, but this is just a partial of that 4.5 hour video of Andrew Tate. I found him to be so interesting. So I'll play that for you guys.
Okay.
All right. Let me just share the screen. Mm-hmm. I mean, I got so much open.
You've got a lot of people eating with you, Nikki.
Oh, good.
They saved their dinner for your show.
Well, good. I don't feel bad eating in front of everybody then.
There you go.
I really wish I could, let's see.
Diane Valenzuela, Nikki, says General Michael Flynn put out a tweet. The storm is upon us.
See, I told you why I put my storm cloud out.
Yep.
I feel it in the air. I'm telling you.
Yep.
It's going down. I'm calling timber. All right, here we go, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as me. And we're all adults in here, but there is a little language in this, but I think you guys can all handle it. Okay, here we go.
I joked about it. You're the most Googled woman on earth. You know, that was based on your Twitter profile. You know, Nina Turner comes out and says, if somebody says they're a woman, not a tough concept. Your response is, I'm a woman, right? You do that. And you've left it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Tell us why.
Because I am. You don't believe me?
You're a woman?
Are you misgendering me?
I have to choose to agree with you, right?
My pronouns are she, her. No, but the level of, it's all a joke, right? But there's actually a very sinister undertone to all of this garbage. And the sinister undertone is that your baseline instincts and your baseline senses are how you've always perceived the world, right? They have to attack them at some level. And they did. I mean, it's fantastic with COVID. COVID, I know we can talk about it now. It was amazing. I used to say to people all the time, who have you seen die? Do you see a pandemic? Yeah, on the news. No. Do you see ambulances rushing back and forth everywhere? Do you see bodies on the street? Do you see lines outside of hospitals? Do you see a pandemic? How a pandemic would look? Do you see a pandemic? Oh, but my friend's grandma, your friend's grandma was 96. Okay, so I'm not saying it's not sad. I'm saying she was 96. Do you see a pandemic? No, you don't. But they have just lied to you so many times that you're ignoring your own eyes. That's the final stage of the slave mind. It's the final stage of it. The final stage of the slave mind is when your eyes tell you this is green, but the news told you it was blue. So it has to be blue. So when they're doing these things, it's nothing to do with caring about the mental health, of gender ideology, none of this garbage. They're deliberately attacking you and saying what your eyes tell you is wrong. Because if they can make you start to admit that your own eyes are wrong, then what other defense do you have against propaganda? If they're going to give you a lie, but your own eyes can't protect you, well, then it's over, isn't it? So all of these things they're doing, all of these things are a deliberate assault on the senses. And they do it by controlling the language. If you control what someone says, over time, you'll control what they think. You don't think what you don't say. It's very hard to live a life for 8 years, if you're lucky, and think things and never say them ever. If you think it, you're going to say it sometimes. You're going to give the idea, get some feedback on the idea, build on the idea, change the idea, whatever it is, through discussion. If you never, ever, ever discuss it, you're not going to think it. So they say, this is the truth, ignore your eyes, and you have to say it's the truth. You can't say it's not the truth. And the people who are in charge of the world, they think generationally. They have time. Right now, it's a joke. 200 years from now, it won't be a joke. 200 years from now, it'll all be fucking standard operating protocol. The grandchildren, the people who are in charge now, that's what they want. They'll pull it off in the end. Slow, incremental damage. They do it with nearly everything. They'll take all your rights away. They'll take 100 of your rights away. They'll upset you. They'll give you 99 back. We're good again. Don't worry. And the grandchildren of the people in charge of the world get what they want in the end. They think generationally. So now we're at the beginning of it. It's all a big joke, right? But especially before Elon had Twitter, when you couldn't say the truth online, when you couldn't say my eyes see X on the internet without going to jail or losing your account or getting a hate speech charge in the UK or some garbage, they're controlling what you think. And on a long enough time frame, what you think becomes true. We all believe 2 + 2 is 4. But with a hard enough psyop, if you can't say that, if you have to say it's 5, on a long enough time frame, math breaks down and everyone's just going to believe that 2 + 2 = 5. That's what happens.
You think we're going to get there?
Have you ever seen the experiment? There's a really interesting experiment with monkeys and a banana and a water spout. Have you ever seen this? They put 5 monkeys in a room. And at the top of the room, there was a banana. And when one monkey tried to climb up to get the banana, they turn on the hose and splash all the monkeys with ice cold water. So the monkey would come back down and wouldn't get the banana. And when another monkey would go to climb up, they'd splash all the monkeys with ice cold water. And what would happen over time is when a monkey went to climb the rope to get the banana, the other monkeys would jump and pull him down and hit him and teach him a lesson. Don't go for that banana. If you go for that banana, we get splashed with water. Mm-hmm. Then they'd swap one of the monkeys out. Now there's a new monkey in the room who doesn't know the game. The new monkey would attempt to climb, and all 4 monkeys would attack the monkey, pull him back down, and kick his ass. He knows if he climbs the rope to get the banana, he gets attacked. He doesn't know he gets splashed with water if he gets the banana. He doesn't know the game, but he knows if I try and climb, they're going to attack me. After a certain amount of weeks, they change another monkey, and another monkey, another monkey. Over time, you have 5 brand new monkeys who have never been splashed with water ever. But nobody goes to climb the rope because if they do, they're attacked by all the other monkeys. And nobody even knows why. Damn. That's just how it works. If you climb that rope, we beat you up. That's just how it works. That's what they're doing on a long enough time scale to humanity. There are already X amount of people on the planet. There's already a population, X%, who knows what it is, who ignore their own eyes and repeat what they are told. You can't say that that's not what they're doing because they're already successful with X amount of the population. They've begun. The seed is there. 2%, 3%, 7%, who knows? They've already proven they can do it. Now it's just a matter of not shutting up and hammering at home. Make sure they repeat it in schools. Children are young. They believe things. They're impressionable. Hammer it to the kids, especially. Put it in every Disney movie. Give it to the kids all day long. They grow up sooner or later. Long enough time frame. That's it. It's generational attacks.
But do you think that's going to work, though? Because let me maybe unpack the question. So I'm from Glendale. I went to Glendale High School and Staloy, right? So yesterday, a big fight broke out in Glendale. Massive. It's all over the news. Yep. So the fight was over these parents, Armenian parents, who are for 4 years are like, listen, we don't mind if you're gay, but don't teach our 4-year-olds about transgender. Yep. Don't put these books in. Yep. Finally, yesterday, big old brawl. Yep. It's all over the news. They're fighting. Armenian parents are like, we're not going to tolerate this. Yep. This is just not going to happen to us, right? Then you go to YouTube. YouTube comes back and says, hey, starting such and such, all the videos that were put up about, the election and, whether it was a fake election or not, we're no longer going to give a strike or take those videos down. Yeah. They can stay up there, right? This is totally fine. Then you see the Surgeon General comes out, the attorney, I don't know if you saw this one here. He comes out with an article saying new Surgeon General advisory raises alarm about the devastating impact of the epidemic of loneliness and isolation in the United States. This is the same guy that was part of the camp is now saying, Hey, our epidemic of loneliness and isolation has been an underappreciated public health crisis that has harmed individuals and social health, our relationship, our source of healing, et cetera, et cetera. This is the same guy that said, wait a minute, lockdown, do this, do that. Yeah. So the more and more arguments are coming out against even ESG. I don't know how close you follow ESG, where why are we doing this? Did you see how much Target lost? $10 billion? Did you see how much Bud Light lost? 25%, 12%? This is no longer working. Well, if you want to, even one of the insurance companies I work with closely, it's one of our biggest one we work with. Yesterday, I see their post on Instagram. Well, because of Pride Month, we're doing this. I know the people in that company, but they just raised a few $100 million. One of the companies they gave the money to was one of these bigger guys, the Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street. Yeah. So when you take money from those guys, you have to have a certain ESG score. Yeah. But a lot of people are now saying this is not a proven formula that it works. Stop doing it. So do you think guys like you, who are maybe in business, who are maybe in church, they're saying, Pope, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Who are maybe in the Christian church, who are maybe in different denominations, they're in the military, sitting back saying, I didn't sign up for this. Yeah. So meaning successfully, do you think these guys will be able to manipulate their agendas down everybody's throat, or there's going to be certain people standing up?
Well, certainly I'd like to believe that the tide is shifting and we're starting to get some degree of victory against the matrix as a whole. I do believe that the public sentiment is shifting. However, the fight is long and it's very, very difficult, because I agree with what you're saying. Only a year ago, I would argue it completely and say it's basically over. I'm actually very impressed with the ground we've taken back with common sense. But these people operate so slowly. It's generational, these attacks. The attacks we're suffering now were started in the 70s and 80s. They take it over time. And yes, it's fantastic that those parents fought back against that school. That's fantastic. But there's a whole bunch of schools where they didn't. And who knows, okay, that particular book might be removed. A softer version will be implemented. Next year, maybe that book will come back. They have all the time in the world, all the money in the world, and they're insulated from these things. That's what's most scary. You talk about Vanguard and BlackRock and all these companies. What's actually scary about it is the people who are making these decisions are completely insulated from the consequences of their decisions. They're in Switzerland. They fly private. They don't care. You think they care about any of this crap? They'll say, oh, do this. Oh, it's caused a riot. They don't live there. They're nowhere near it. They have nothing to do with it. When's the last time you've even seen a politician? Do these people even exist? They're nothing to do with where they operate. It's actually amazing. When I was in Dubai once, I think it was about 3 years ago, I saw the leader of Dubai walking through the mall. I was like, he's a person and he just walks through the mall. I was so impressed. Imagine a Western leader walking through the mall. Never in a million years. It's just pieces of paper, private jet, vanish. All these people who are in charge of everything don't even live in these communities. I do believe that, yes, we can win, because I don't think you can fight to the best of your ability if all hope is lost. I do believe we're winning and taking ground back, absolutely. And I believe that we're doing that by purely telling the truth. What our eyes see is what's real. And we're doing it in the name of God, because you're saying Armenians are strictly religious. I think God and religion is one of the best ways you can combat these things. However, the fight is never ending, because they're never ending going to try and implement. You talk about ESG scores. It's garbage they put together. That's not going to end. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse over time. And it's kind of unfortunate and it's kind of upsetting that we still have this system where the people can be unhappy with something. The peasants can revolt to a degree. But does it even really matter at some point? You get to a point of power where you don't care about money. And then things are really difficult, right? When you control everything, you don't care about money. I mean, I'd like to actually argue. We talk about Bud Light. This Mulaney, whatever is it?
Dylan Mulvaney.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dylan Mulvaney.
Sweetheart, yeah.
And yeah, I know we've damaged their share price, et cetera, et cetera. I would believe people who own that company or beyond that company, I don't think they truly give a fuck.
InBev.
I don't think they care. Maybe they care a bit. I don't think they're losing that much sleep over it. Maybe they are a little bit, but I'm saying you get to degrees of power and levels of power where you don't care about money. I'll give you a perfect example of it. I know we keep going back to this, but it was actually a massive pivotal event in awakening so many people was the COVID scam. I said this multiple times in many different countries I visited. I said, if they cared about you, they would have left everything open, maybe put a tax on everything, extra tax percent, whatever, and built hospitals. Why didn't they do that? Why did they lock you all up? Because it's a mass compliance exercise. They want you to comply. They don't give a shit about your health. They just want you to comply. And they want to test how many people comply. And people were saying, yeah, it's all about money. It's all about profit. And I said, that's actually a very optimistic way to look at it. I think that if you destroy the economy and lock everyone in their houses and destroy everyone's businesses, you don't care about money. You're beyond money. You're above money. You want power and you want control. Because once you become actually rich, you learn that The world is all just about people, right? The best things in your life are people. The best things in your life are family. Things that make you happiest are your friends. Your life experience is the best if you have good team around you, good assistants, good helpers, good staff, whatever it is. It's all about people and controlling people. What do you want money for? To get other people to do what you want. That's all money is. I want a Lamborghini. I can't build one. He can. I will pay him to build me a Lamborghini. It's all about people. So once you get beyond a certain level of money, and there's a certain level of control you want that money perhaps can't buy, then you think, well, I don't care about the money. I want the power. I don't want money. I want them to stay in their houses. Why? Because it's sensible. I don't have to. They have to. Ha ha ha. It's funny. And I've said that and sat with people and said, do you really think people in charge of the world are so petty that they would lock everyone in their houses so they can laugh? I say, yeah, I actually do. I think if you were born into a wealthy family where money has precisely zero value, and you are arrogant to the moon because you're this whoever, and you believe you're God's gift, and you don't, a Ferrari ain't gonna make you happy. Who cares about Ferrari? Ferrari's free. It's pennies. You don't care about any of this shit. What makes you happy is everyone respecting you and being afraid of you. To a degree, you're gonna try and influence some power and fear. I think that's what it is. So I think a lot of these companies, when they're doing these things and they're upsetting people, et cetera, yeah, it's good that we're fighting back, but I also think part of them enjoy the show. I think part of them genuinely enjoy the show. I think part of them go, you know what? Let's do, this is insane. Let's do this. Oh, they're fighting. I really believe it. I know it's a pessimistic way to look at it, but I think they enjoy the show apart.
I don't disagree with you in regards to that. I can see that how, you see it in movies or scenes where, condescending, arrogant, and they kind of they enjoy bullying the guy that can't help himself. Like, hey, do this. Hey, clean up, pick this up. Look at this. He'll do anything that I need him to do, right? I fully believe that those types of things exist. But, and empires have fallen so many times because they thought they can get away with murder. And then eventually people said, listen, stop. You're not going to do this to me anymore. We're not going to take a stand. And typically when that happens, you said it earlier, what is really what's going on in Glendale or some of these other cities that people are protesting? Why is there an organization called Gays Against Groomers? Gays Against Groomers? What do you do? He says, man, I just wanted to be gay and leave me alone. I'm not trying to be, grooming kids. That's not my job. I just want to be gay. Leave me alone. We've made so much progress. These guys, I'm not that guy. I'm not this person, right? So I think the part that they fear the most, if you read Communist Manifesto, there's a book written by Cleon Skousen. I think he was like a former CIA agent for like 15 years. He wrote a book called The Naked Communist. One of the things he talks about how getting rid of God, well, they're succeeding in that area, but not fully yet. Getting rid of the family nucleus. Well, we already know what is the purpose of this LGBTQ movement? What is the purpose of this transgender? What is the purpose of, let me get this straight. This person cannot buy a gun at 13. This person cannot go in the military at 13. This person cannot vote at 18. This person cannot own a car at 13, but they can transition. The most important decision of their lives, you're okay with? Yes. Now, that doesn't make sense to me. I think you said something at the beginning, the concept of being tolerant. You know what? Yeah, it's okay. We can have gays. Oh, it's okay. We can have this. It's okay. Listen, man. You've crossed the line a little bit. I think faith, family, kids, values, principles, they fear the hell out of it.
Absolutely.
And I think that community is rising up.
No, you're totally right. But you made a really interesting point there about empires falling. And this is where I kind of feel like we're entering a new stage of the world because it's never really done before. Because typically when empires fell, the world was far more polarized. If the empire fell, there was nowhere for the corrupt dictators of said empire to go. The empire's fallen, or let's say England fell. It's very hard to get exile in France. You could do it a little bit. But let's say America fell today. Let's say it completely collapsed and it fell. The people who archetyped that downfall, do you think they'd be in America? Do you think they'd be sitting there waiting to get scooped up? Do you even know who they are? Can you recognize them? What's their name? Even if you could, do you think they're in America or do you think they're skiing in Switzerland? This globalism, the whole point of globalism is that they don't care when empires fall. When you globalize the world, then you have a chessboard. I lost the knight. Doesn't matter. Bishop. Sack the queen. Who cares? There's so many things I want to say, but I don't want to die. But there's truth. This can be proven and shown even with this current proxy war. Europe and all the gas prices and the inflation rate in Europe has gone to the moon to fund this proxy war in Ukraine. Why has this happened? Because America's in charge of everything. And America has decided that Europe has to bear the brunt of the bullshit for its proxy war. You're going to have higher gas prices. You're going to have inflation. You're going to have mass civil unrest. You're going to deal with it all. And we're going to sit over here and insulate ourselves because we have the global reserve currency. And the war is going to happen over there and everyone's going to die. And we're in charge. So now you have this globalism. How can an empire fall when you have basically two camps? There's two teams now. There's two sides left. So I agree with you completely about empires falling, but I'm saying if the empires fell in days of old, the kings would be strung up. But now when the empire falls, nobody notices. It doesn't matter. We don't know who the kings are. We don't know who's in charge. We don't know where they are. They're not going to be anywhere near the trouble. That's for fucking sure. They're just going to be somewhere else. Oops. Oh, well. And do they really care? Do the people in charge of the world care if America's crime rate goes up 1,000%? Would they lose sleep at night?
I actually think they do partially, because think about it. So I'm with Andrew Schultz, and I'm taking your position with him.
Yep.
Okay, you know who Andrew Schultz
Yep.
is? Good guy. And he says, part of me that gives me comfort is knowing these guys are so obsessed with their money. You may be wrong. So we can debate this.
Yep.
They're so obsessed with their money that there's no way they're going to let America fall, because if America falls, everything else falls. So they're going to go just as much as they can to control, but not enough to get the machine to break, because they're so in love with money and power, they don't want to give that up.
Well, I hope that's true. I would love for that to be true. But my argument is that these people are already so deeply entrenched, they print the money. They'll print the new money. They don't care. If they cared about money, COVID wouldn't have happened. They closed the entire economy. I don't think they care about money. I think they control the world to a level where you want to eat? Do you want war? Like, I don't think they give a shit about money. They'll print the new money. They'll change the name of it and print the new one. At a certain level of power, I think they're so above and beyond all of our concepts of how the world works, and they don't have any interest in any of it. I don't think they give a shit. I think if you were to go to these people, whoever they are, and say, we're going to take your money away, they would just laugh at you. You think you can take my money? You think you understand money? You think you're going to damage the stock market? You think I give a shit about the share price? I think there's a level beyond all of this. And they're the ones who truly are running things, and they truly have no influence. And in fact, the harder they damage the economy and the more damage they do to money, the more people are dependent on governments to eat. That's where communism comes from, right? The more poor we get, the more you need the government just so you have food in your mouth. How can you resist the government if they feed you? You can't. So and I sound pessimistic, and I'm not pessimistic. And I do believe the answer to all of these things is free thinking and truth and God and communities standing up for themselves and changing the general consensus. I do believe that. Because to a degree, although we talk about people who run the world, to a degree we run the world. Because our tolerance level is what runs the world. There's more of us than them. So to a degree, you say, who's in charge of the world? Well, I like to say, well, we are. Because it's all about, we're the abused wife in this relationship. How much crap are we going to put up with? We set the limit. They're going to come at us with everything they can, right? We set the limit. But the problem is they try very, very hard to, one, increase our limit to the max, which is tolerance, and two, to divide us to the point where we don't ever unite long enough. I love what happened in Glendale, what you just told me about. That should be happening in every single school across America, all of them.
Oh, they would love it if you retweet the video for them and give more exposure.
I will do.
When you're saying this, I'm reading a book right now, Robert Moses. I don't know if you know who he is or not, Power Broker. This is a guy, it would be a very interesting guy for you to study. This is the guy that built New York, okay? And he came up and hated, complicated person, misunderstood. The more they would push him back, the more he stood up. The more they would say, no, this is not fair what you're doing, the more he would even say, I'm going to go even more extreme. And so if in New York you mention the name Robert Moses, there's going to be a camp that's going to say scumbag, racist, white supremacist, all this stuff. And there's a side that's going to say, this guy built a bridge, this guy did this, this guy did that. He would make it so hard for a certain community to go to the nicer community. He would put the bridge so low that trucks couldn't go through because he didn't want the bad people to go into this. Like, he was that sharp. And one time in the book, they talk about how Robert Moses, he says, look, the one thing about Robert Moses, he could give a shit about money. He could give a shit about, it was all about his influence over. So I agree. There's certain people that don't care about money. They're more driven by control, influence, all of that. The part that, we're talking about the movie Fury, Vinny, and you give me this whole thing about Fury, the scene where Shia LaBeouf is reading out of the Bible and he's crying while he's reading this. And then, if you want to text me and then afterwards, you see Brad Pitt quotes exactly what scripture it was, but they never showed how much faith he had. And the whole point was, I'm ready to die.
Yeah.
We know we're here. Yeah. This is going to be happening. We're in the attack. I think the people, there's a part about Trump. I had a girl on Whitney Webb. I don't know if you know who Whitney Webb is. We had her on. Okay. Yeah. And we start talking about different things. And I've been having a lot of weird guests on lately and making a comparison between the Kennedy family and Trump. Pisses a lot of people off. Yeah. But those two families, forget the fact that one's a Democrat, one's a Republican. They were both anti-establishment. Yeah. They were both anti-military industrial complex. They were both anti-CIA, anti-FBI, anti all of this stuff, right? We saw what happened with Kennedy. We saw what happened with Reagan. We saw what happened with Lincoln. All these guys were anti-establishment guys. We saw what happened with Trump. Yeah. The part about Trump that, made the other side uncomfortable is, okay, we can kill the guy. That's been the strategy for a long time. You can't really do it today as much because they fear one thing that they're the most jealous and envy. You know what that is? They do not want to build a martyr. Yes. They fear building a martyr because that's the ultimate high that they want to get. They do not want to build a martyr, right? So, okay, we're going to humiliate the crap out of you. We're going to embarrass the crap out of you. We're going to publicly try to do this. We're going to come in between you and your kids. Yep. We're going to go get your daughter to be more LGBT. We're going to get her to be on this side. And we're going to pin this. That's the strategy. We're going to put the break the entire family apart, right? And he still stands up there. Yeah. And to them, it's like, what the hell do we need to do for you to, just sit down and be quiet, not willing to do it?
That's right. Do
you think, again, going back to it, more of those types of men and women who are misunderstood and complicated stories, they're not perfect, far from it. Yeah. More of those guys are the ones that are saying, yeah, it's just not going to happen on my watch, man.
And that's what we need. And by the very nature of being the kind of person who's principled enough to risk his own personal situation in life, if you have principles that strong, you're going to be disliked by some people. You're never going to have a person who is principled enough to take risk to his public detriment for the good of what he believes in, who's liked by everybody. That's a logic fail, right? Because he has principles which are hard lines, and people exist across the entire spectrum. So there's going to be people who exist outside of those lines. That's what I liked about Trump. He's not perfect, of course not, but he says what he means what he says. I actually disagree with him on many things, but he says what he means what he says, and that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of a man who says what he means and means what he says because he can't be bought, because he's principled. He can't be bought. Even now, if they were to come to me with $100 million and say, we'll sponsor you with this company, it's $100 million, you just have to shut up, I'd say, no, I don't want your money. I don't want the money. I don't need money. There's nothing else to buy. I bought everything. I don't need it. My principle's worth more. So, and that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of principles. And it goes back to the original point. They're trying to remove all of our morality, all of our baseline understanding of things.
Connect is an application which allows you to take a minute to connect with influencers from all around the world. My name is Andrew Tate, and I'm available to speak directly to you on Connect.
That's how they inject you with the slave mind. That's exactly what it is. And you're right. History has always been that way. And now it's under conscious assault. I've never said this before. I've never even thought this before. This is a brand new thought for me. But I would like to think in times of old, in history, perhaps everybody was the same. Everybody was principled. Everybody had parameters, but they were different parameters. Perhaps they were competing ideas. But I think in the modern world, it's not so much competing parameters. It's just people who believe in things. People who don't believe in anything besides what they're fucking told. That changes every day. You have the empty brains, the slave minds, and the people who actually stand up for something. And the free thinkers. But the slave minds, you can't say, well, they believe in a different ideology, because they don't. They believe in what they're told to believe in on that particular day. It changes. They don't have any true core belief. They just repeat. I talk about the Matrix all the time, and people say, why did you choose that terminology? And I chose that terminology because it is perfectly accurate in describing exactly what is happening. The Matrix is a computer program which is designed to control your mind so that your body can be used to power the machines. That's exactly what happens when they make you watch the news, to control your mind so you continue to use your body, to work some garbage job and suffer from inflation and power the machines. Machines being soulless people who are in charge of the world. But there's also a million other different ways you can compare the Matrix to the real world. In the Matrix, they say anybody can become an agent at any time. If their mind is not unplugged, they become an agent. If their mind is not freed, they turn into an agent. You can see that in real life. Mention COVID to an NPC. Mention Trump to an NPC. You can sit and have a perfectly cordial, normal conversation with somebody for an hour and be fine. and you can mention one of the particular subjects which they are programmed to hate by the matrix itself, and they will turn into an agent in real time. And you will see them now start to genuinely emotionally dislike you as a person. They were your friend for an hour.
Yeah.
Now they hate you. They will turn into an agent. COVID was perfect. I would sit with people and we'd all be friends until I mentioned that COVID's garbage. And now they're an agent. What do you mean COVID's garbage? My friend's grandma was 99. She got sick. Okay, sorry. That doesn't change my view. And they change. And the Matrix is actually a perfect, absolute explanation of what's happening. And Morpheus says it. If your mind's not freed, you can be one of them. And that's what's happening. And this is why we don't have competing sets of parameters which are trying to argue about which is the best way to run the world. We have people with parameters who believe in family and love and God and tradition and taking care of yourself and taking care of others. There's people with moral standard and there's people with none. Zero. Empty vessels, agents who are programmed on any given day of what they're supposed to care about. These people can't tell me they care about things. That's what's most annoying about my position, because it's absolutely and utterly weaponized virtue they use against me. The people who hate me because, one, I truly believe, and I know this is arrogant to say, but I feel like I have to say it. There's definitely a massive jealousy implement. If I wasn't so tall and rich and good looking, it wouldn't be happening. They don't fucking like me. They don't like me because I remind them of the jock at school that took their girl. That's part of it, right? They don't like me personally. So it's true. So they try and find an attack vector. And what happens when you have somebody who's monumentally successful across all realms of human endeavor? The only way you can attack them is by calling them a bad person. They can't call me stupid. They can't call me ugly. Can't call me broke. Can't call me weak. They can't call me any of these things. So how do we attack this guy? Well, he's a bad person. How do you call someone a bad person? You weaponize virtue. None of the people, who are pretending to give a shit about women and that I'm bad to protect women have any interest in protecting women. None of these people think I better become physically strong to protect women. None of them even believe in protecting a woman in a physical scenario. None of them even believe in protecting their family. None of them donate to any charities that involve women, nothing. They're just taking the virtue and weaponizing it and attacking me with it. Me as a person who donates $25 million a year to charity to feed both male and female children. Me as a person who believes I have a responsibility to be physically capable so that any woman I'm walking down the street with is safe. I do more for women than any of these clowns would ever do. But they're just weaponizing virtue and attacking me with it. It's not even genuine virtue. That's what's so upsetting about it. These people, the matrix-minded people, have so few parameters and so few virtue. Whenever there's virtue inside of them, it's only so they can take it, weaponize it, and fire it at you. They don't give a shit about any of the issues they talk about. They don't care about race. They don't care about women. They don't care about gays. None of it. They take it, they put it in a bullet, and they shoot it at the people they don't like. It's all fake. All of it.
When you were talking about this, I wrote all these things down that we're talking about. Principal virtues, God, parents, true believers, fighters, traditions. These people they fear, right? All these people they fear. And these guys are slowly but surely starting to stand up. The scene we're talking about with Shia LaBeouf, he says, what we're doing here is a righteous act. Here's a Bible verse I think about sometimes, many times. This is his words. It goes, and I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send? And who will go for us? And he began crying and said, here I am, send me. Brad Pitt turns around and says, Book of Isaiah, chapter 6.
Connect is an application.
Well, I can honestly say at the end there, when he was talking about sitting across from a table with somebody and having a great conversation, and you say something they don't agree with and they go off on you. I think we've all experienced that. I experienced it not too long ago at a restaurant with some softball parents. I was having a great conversation with this mom. We have sat and watched games for weeks together. And I said something about Mr. T and she went ballistic. So I think we've all experienced stuff like that.
Yes, we have.
So there's one more thing I would really like to play for you guys. This is near and dear to my heart because my daughter plays softball and she's going to go on to play in college. I want to play for you an interview with Oklahoma. They just won the championship this year. And I think it's something you all should see. So it's only 4 minutes. So I'm going to play that real quick, Diamond. Okay.
Sure. Sounds great.
Okay.
Yep.
Here we go.
Alex Scarborough with ESPN. For the players, I know you talked about keeping the joy of the game, but I'm curious, it's a long season, right? And you guys have had the target on your back the entire time, the win streak being number one. How do you handle the unique pressure that comes with that? How do you keep the joy for so long when anxiety seems like a thing that could very easily set in?
Well, the only way that you can have a joy that doesn't fade away is from the Lord. And any other type of joy is actually happiness that comes from circumstances and outcomes. I think Coach has said this before, but joy from the Lord is really the only thing that can keep you motivated, just in a good mindset, no matter the outcomes. Thankfully, we've had a lot of success this year, but if it was the other way around, joy from the Lord is the only thing that can keep you embracing those memories, moments, friendships, and all of that. So that's really the only answer to that, because there's no other way that softball can bring you that, because of how much failure comes in it and just how much of a roller coaster the game can be.
1000% agree with Grace Lyons. I went through that my freshman year. I was so happy to win the college. I've talked about this before, but I was just so happy that we won the College World Series, but I didn't feel joy. I didn't know what to do the next day. I didn't know what to do for that following week. I didn't feel filled, and I had to find Christ in that. And I think that is what makes our team so strong, is that we're not afraid to lose, because if it's not the end of the world if we do lose. Yes, obviously we've worked our butts off to be here and we want to win, but it's not the end of the world because our life is in Christ, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. I think a huge thing that we've really just latched onto is eyes up. And you guys see us doing this and pointing up, but we're really like fixing our eyes on Christ. And that's something where, like they were saying, you can't find a fulfillment in an outcome, whether it's good or bad. And I think that's why we're so steady in what we do, and our love for each other and our love for the game, because we know this game is giving us the opportunity to glorify God. And I just think once we figured that out and that was our purpose and everyone was all in with that, it's really changed so much for us. And I mean, I know myself, I've seen so much of a growth in myself with once I turned to Jesus and I realized how he had changed my outlook on life, not just softball, but understanding how much I have to live for, and that's living to exemplify the kingdom. And I think that brings so much freedom. And I'm sure everyone's story is similar, but we all have those great testimonies that have really like shown how awesome it is to play for something bigger. And I think that's just what brings me so much joy. And no matter the outcome, whether we get a trophy in the end or not, this isn't our home. And I think that's what's amazing about it, is we have so much more. We have an eternity of joy with our Father, and I'm so excited about that. And yes, I live in the moment, but I know this isn't my home. And no matter what, my sisters in Christ will be there with me in the end, when we're with our King. So,
Patty, you've got to keep your eye on the prize and really work with these players on their skill set. But I think from a human nature perspective, it's easier to learn from failure and from losing than it is from winning. How do you try to stay on top of these players and keep them improving throughout the year when there is that kind of challenge within there?
I think they just gave you the answer. So again, they're unapologetic about the way they feel and what they believe. And that makes my job easier because I'm with them in that. So like we're not looking at what could happen or, oh, the pressure. There is pressure, right? But these guys have embraced it. They love it. They love the big moments because the big moments are the moments that they'll never forget.
I'm sobbing. I want my daughter to go play for Oklahoma.
That's awesome.
Oh,
that is awesome.
I love it.
Trump's plane just landed in New Jersey.
Garrett, you are so negative all the time. Why, bud? Why you got to be so negative all the time? Do you want me to pop it? I'll pop it up on the screen, Diamond.
Oh no, I was just saying he's landed.
Okay. Well, let's just we'll just pop it up here and we can watch for him.
Linda Tetrick, I'm so sorry to hear you got the C. I've got you on the prayer list for my show for tomorrow. I will pray for you, my friend.
No, B-Dog, you weren't the only one crying. I was crying. I don't know why my my chat keeps getting locked up. Well, your opinions are negative though, Garrett. Look at the glass is half full sometimes, not always half empty. I'm not trying to come down on you. I'm just saying I was reading your comments and everything's negative. Look at the positive sometimes. Find the rainbow at the end of there might be a pot of gold for you.
The yellow brick road. At the end of the yellow brick road, there'll be a rainbow.
Well, if he just landed, do you still think it'll be 9 o'clock?
I don't think so. I think it'll be sooner than that, to be honest.
Maybe they just didn't know when he was going to arrive or something.
That could be.
Yeah, when I heard that this morning, I was actually listening to And We Know on my way to work this morning, and he played that at the end of his show, the softball, the girls from Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I was sobbing in my car. I can't wait to play it for my daughter when she gets home.
Yeah. Yeah, share it with your daughter. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody
love it.
somebody in RSBN's chat saying 8:15.
Okay.
Oh, now RSBN has a banner up that says 8:15. Do.
Oh, okay. Jody Terry says, give Mr. T some time to take a shower. He's been around demons all day. He's got to wash the evil off of them.
Yeah, the poor guy's been through, the day before his birthday.
Diamond, they'll do anything to keep him from running. Anything.
Yes, they will.
But it's not going to work.
It's going to backfire big time. Hickenberg says be about 25 minutes after he lands here.
Well, I hope you guys will stick with me because I got a feeling. I'm hoping he's going to say something good.
Yes, me too. I want to hear his experience today. I know that his female lawyer gave a statement before the court proceeding. She was outside the courthouse, and she gave a quick statement, and then a reporter, as she was starting to walk off, said, what's Mr. Trump's demeanor today? And she turned around and said, defiant.
He's probably at his wit's end,
Oh, I'm sure. Well, he's probably here we go again.
Right.
I'd be so tired of it.
You know how much money that's costing him too?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to pay for those lawyers.
Yeah.
And this isn't the only case he's got going on. I mean, this man, it's
34 miles. Jersey Joe says it's 34 miles from the Newark airport to Bedminster. So 34 miles at how many miles per hour are they traveling?
What's the speed limit there? Jersey Joe? Are you guys like Michigan? Are you on the freeway? You can go like 75, 85?
I'm trying to do the math.
You mean
Yeah,
you couldn't land at the golf course?
Keith Allen, he says Diamond Lil, he wants this to happen so that he can do it back to them. You're right, Keith. And hello to, is it Ipswich, Australia, Keith, to you? Marilyn Ponomarenko, all praise to Heavenly Father. Her granddaughter, her son, and the mother have all landed in Florida safely. So we prayed for them this morning. So that's good news. Thank you.
Diamond, I'll be right back. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you, Marilyn, for letting us know that. Oh, Terry Dyer, was that in the bakery or the little restaurant that he stopped to get the baked goods? I saw that they said a prayer for him. Yeah, good, Terry. Thank you for sharing that. I was hoping. Chris, too, yeah, they want to try and bankrupt him. No doubt. Yes, Jody Terry, it's going to be a legal boomerang and it'll be glorious. Yes. And God's going to reward him. Heavenly Father will not let him go without being rewarded for everything that he's put up with. Maggie Lass, hi. Let's see. Oh, Gina H., you're trying to wait for him to speak so you can have your coffee and croissant. It's getting hard. Oh, go ahead, Gina. Whip out your coffee and start biting into that croissant. Go ahead. Wonder how you get invited to one of these things. Are these all like people who contribute to his campaign, or are they members of his golf club? Or both? How do you get invited?
Sorry, Diamond. I just got a call. I'm off to New Jersey.
Oh, you're going to New Jersey?
Yeah, Trump's sending his helicopter for me.
Oh, awesome. Can you stop over in Maine and pick me up?
Sure. Of course I will. Get yourself all dolled up, Diamond.
Yeah, Gina H802 says, Diamond, you have to pay. Yes, these people contribute to him. That's what I wondered, how he picks and chooses, but I know he doesn't do the picking. He probably picks a few people, but I'm not quite sure who does the picking. Oh, Mike Mazza. Mike Mazza says, Diamond Lil, I wish I had a way to send you the picture of the Trump birthday banner in my yard. Good for you, Mike.
Jody Terry, I'm on my way. I hear the blades going now. I think I'll bring Hank too. I think Mr. T would like him.
Well, did you want to talk about the information you gave me this afternoon about the Clio person, or no?
Well, I can inconspicuously, I guess.
Okay.
So there was actually Mountain Man sent me a video.
Oh.
And the city, I believe it's the city clerk in Clio, Michigan, is being investigated. They found absentee ballots piled up in a closet.
Dun, dun, dun. And you
Dun,
said
dun,
the FBI was pouring over
Yes.
this place, right? So
Yep.
let's think about this logically. Is the FBI gonna be honest, or are they there to bury the information?
Well, it's live on the news on YouTube.
So you would think that they would have to tell the truth.
I don't think, me personally, don't think that all FBI agents are bad.
That is true.
There's good people out there that don't want to see this crap either. That's why there's so many whistleblowers.
That is true. I think that the bad ones are maybe at the top.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So
Well, see,
that's just my thoughts.
I've become so skeptical.
I know.
See, it's
easy
awful.
to do, right?
Yes, it's awful. I think, oh, great. Well, the FBI is combing over that. Well, there's some evidence that's going to be, lost at sea, or the dog ate the evidence, or whatever.
The dog ate my homework.
Yeah, the dog ate the absentee ballots.
I just think, well, what are the absentee ballots doing in a closet?
Yeah, in a person's house.
I don't know if it's in a person's house or if it's in the clerk's office closet.
Oh, if it was in the office, but even at that, that's not a place. Well, that's not a place that you would store ballots, though. You would store those in, secure places, right?
Well, yes, Diamond. And I think, closets are for like brooms and stuff.
And clothes.
Maybe I think it's a broom closet. Oh, Lord. Hey, Robert Clymer, good to see you. Well, looks like my daughter's having so much fun, she doesn't want to come home.
There you go. Hey, go ahead.
They took a road trip today to the Toledo Zoo. Her and her friends. They're just living it up before they all leave for college.
What's he moving out of the way for?
Is Trump coming?
He just moved out of the way. Let's see. Ann Creighton, hi.
Somebody's in the door. That's not T, though. Look at that lady's earrings. Holy Moses.
Yeah.
Oh, who's that guy?
Yeah, what are they doing?
Who are you texting?
Oh, I just got a text from somebody that's there. I wonder if it's that guy.
He's kind of cute, Diamond.
He's young.
He's not that young. He's probably in his 40s.
That's true. Oh, he's got the chickie on his shoulder there.
Yeah, she ain't that cute. I'm just teasing. Chickie. Mr. T. Mr. T.
Mr. T.
If he says the storm is upon us, I might fall over.
I'll have to go get a I'll have to get a pee pad because that'll be it for me.
Oh. Yeah, how do these people get tickets? Are they donors? Are they like part of the club?
Yeah, somebody was saying that Gina H was saying, yeah, they would have had to be contributors to his campaign, or members of the club You know, I'm sure it's like a country club, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I
don't
mean,
know.
all golf
Yeah.
courses have country clubs.
Yeah.
That's for the elite.
Let me text that guy and see.
Diamond, what's his name?
How did you get a ticket?
I am not digging this lady's earrings.
Yeah,
They look like they're
at
weighing her down.
Well, yeah, they're gonna rip her lobe, her earlobe.
We're just people watching.
And then she got butterflies in the back of her hair.
Yeah, well, something. Some kind of clips. They look like diamond clips.
Keith Allen, right? I'm on the east coast of the United States, so it's 8 o'clock, 8:01 p.m.
It's 8:01 where I'm at as well.
Yeah. What time is it where you are, Keith? It's already tomorrow, right? It's already the 14th.
I think it's midnight where he's at.
Is it?
I
He's in
think.
Australia.
I think he's 4 hours ahead of us.
Oh, okay.
Am I wrong, Keith? I could be.
Yeah. What time is it where you are, Keith?
T0 a.m. I don't know what that means. Is that like an Australian thing? He wrote T0 a.m.
Oh, it must be 10 a.m. Maybe he meant 10.
Oh, 10 a.m. Wednesday. Oh, you're really.
Yeah, they're like into the
You're
next
in the
day.
future.
Yeah, it's actually Mr. T's birthday where he is.
That's right, John Dunning. It's 4:20 somewhere.
Ann Creighton says over here in Ireland it's 1 a.m.
You know what, Garrett? Mike Pence can announce all he wants. He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. Is anybody gonna watch the announcement?
He can scream it from the rooftops. Nobody cares. Hey, Cheshire.
They paid for tickets, had a few friends that went to his last 2 speeches. Oh.
Mike Pence is going down. I'm calling timber.
Timber. Yep.
Can you say loser?
Well, remember the video they had of Pence. Was it at one of the debates?
With the fly on his head?
The fly on his head. And
'Cause
we
he's a
all
piece of
know.
poop.
Yeah, we all know what flies are attracted to.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Keith is asking, Keith Allen, Diamond Lil, is that the real Mike? It's a great question.
Let's see. The door keeps opening and closing. What's the temperature in Jersey, Joe? These people seem to be comfy. Look at him, Diamond. Give him a ringy-dingy 1, ringy-dingy 2.
Now, what is it? I'm going to say his first name is Rock.
I'm going to say his first name's Robert. She needs to get her hands
Robert?
off of him.
Yeah, see, she's all over him.
She's a Klingon.
Yeah, look at that. Hand back over, RSBN.
74 degrees, Jersey Joe.
So
Warmer
it's
than it is
comfortable.
here.
Yeah, it's a comfortable 74. The men have their jackets on.
Looks like the sun's shining.
Yeah.
I see shadows.
Robert Clymer says flies love the Dems. Demons attract flies, Gina H says.
I have to keep going out and coming back in on my phone. It's, hold on. My phone, the chat keeps getting stuck. It's weird.
Oh, he's back.
Do you want to hear what he's saying?
He looks like he's sunburnt. Poor guy.
Well, he travels all over the place. Let's see what he says.
Also are a very conservative company that are conservative minded, and they want to push the conservative values that they have. So go check out our friends over at Blackout Coffee, the website, blackoutcoffee.com. Put that promo code RSBN and you'll get, look right here, 20% off your first order with the promo code RSBN. Now you can get this coffee, you can take it home, and you can drink it every morning. And guess what? You're going to wake up knowing that you're supporting a conservative company. That's our friends over at blackoutcoffee.com. Blackoutcoffee.com. Go check it out. And we just love all of our sponsors and our partners for tonight. They're great across the board. Go support them as they help us go do this. But also keep in mind, some of our biggest supporters are you guys at home. With all your donations, you can go to our website as well, rsbnetwork.com/donate, rsbn.com, rsbnetwork.com/donate. All right, so we've got probably a couple hundred people behind us easily, and they're still coming in. And of course, originally this, like I said, this was a.
Unless you're going to tell me what that guy's name is, I'm just going to mute you for now. Get that guy's phone number for us, please.
Yeah.
Diamond Lil's going to call him.
Yeah. He looks like a Rock or Brett.
I could see Brett. I wouldn't say Rock.
No Rock? Okay.
No, but I could see Brett or a Robert.
He's definitely not a Skip.
Or a Walter.
Yeah,
he's definitely not a Walter.
I don't think he's a Brady either.
What about this dude with the sunglasses on top of his head and the goatee?
All right, he looks like I don't know. He looks like a Matt.
A Matt or a Brian?
Oh, he could be a Brian Teaser. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see what else. He could be a Jim.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I had somebody's phone number there. Wouldn't that be fun, you guys, if I could call somebody there?
Oh, that'd be too funny.
Oh, I would love it. You know, I would do it.
Oh, I know you would.
That lady has a pointy nose. She kind of reminds me of a young Pelosi.
Yeah. Now let's try and lip read.
I wonder what that guy's drinking. You think that's like a vodka lemonade or something?
No, it looked like some sort of, it's got some milk or something in it, doesn't it?
Oh.
I don't know. Does it look like creamy?
Oh, he might be having a Black Russian or something.
Yeah. Hey, buddy.
Or a White Russian.
Put your glass back up, buddy. What you drinking?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah. Excuse me? We're talking to you.
Oh, that's definitely a Tony right there he's talking to. The one with the drink.
Oh, yeah, yeah. He looks like a Tony.
Anthony.
Yeah. He could be
Salvador.
Oh, a Salvador, yes.
Maybe.
Oh.
Who's this guy?
Hey, who are you?
Oh, let's see. Let's see what he's saying.
Mister, I wish we weren't here under these circumstances, but what a beautiful night that these people have come out to support President Trump.
It's a beautiful night. It's a great crowd full of patriots. I see so many familiar faces. We have members of Congress. We have senators like Tommy Tuberville here. We have a lot of your favorite mega personalities here in attendance, and everybody is sick of what's happening in this country, especially the weaponization of the Department of Justice.
Yeah, I was just talking about how there's articles on impeachment on Joe Biden right now in the House that Marjorie Taylor Greene did late May, put it up there.
Young man.
And I know you've got a hot take on this. Only 3 Republicans so far in the House have come forward to say, I'll co-sponsor the impeachment on Joe Biden. How disgusting is that only 3 out of the majority,
Oh my God.
especially what just happened today in Miami, and we're sitting here having to beg Republicans to
They got
basically
no cojones.
impeach Joe Biden.
That's
Well, I
the
think one of the
problem.
main reasons we are in this position is because we have a Republican Party, for the most part, that lacks courage, that lacks toughness, and that doesn't have the heart for what time it is in this country. And Marjorie is obviously one of the most America first and fiercest defenders that we have, but we need 50 more, 100 more, 150 more people like Marjorie with the courage to fight. President Trump taught the Republican Party how to fight, and that's what inspired people like Marjorie to get involved. But right now, we have a country that's going to hell. We are a nation in decline. We have a weaponized Department of Justice. They're trying to imprison the leading political opponent of the current occupant of the Oval Office. And if the Republicans don't get tough right now, our country will be gone forever.
Yeah, I agree. Now, you're out always talking to people, right? What are you hearing in the circles of the people's work, their church, their community? They're angry. They do see how the justice system has been completely weaponized against President Trump. Are you hearing impeachment from the people that you talk to?
Well, everybody wants further impeachment. They think that Hunter and Joe Biden are the real criminals, and they should be going to the courthouse today. They should be facing 450 years in prison, not President Trump. They're going after President Trump for non-crimes when Joe Biden and Hunter Biden are on recordings accepting illegal bribes from foreign entities and foreign governments, and now they're using their influence over in our country to help these different people. That is treason in these people's opinions. They don't think President Trump should serve any time because he did nothing wrong, but they don't want just impeachment. They want to see Joe Biden go to jail. They're sick of the corrupt political class protecting themselves while going after the rest of us.
Okay, so that's what the people want. But my point here is you got people in Congress that aren't doing what the people want. They're doing what the good old boys and the established what they've done for years, and they haven't done the will of the people. So how do we get the people, these elected officials, to do what the people want? I mean, I've been telling them to call their office and demand it.
Yeah, well, I think you should put the phone number up so they can find which number of their congressman. But Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to lead this fight. And I know when Marjorie picks a fight, she doesn't pick it just to pick it. She picks it to win it, and she's going to see it through. And I have a feeling with the new revelations that have come out, discovered by Chuck Grassley and the House Oversight Committee, there needs to be movement. The American people are not going to settle for anything less than impeachment. And that's what the Republicans were elected to do. In November of 2022, the Republicans got back the House basically on the premise that they were going to take action against this government. And right now we haven't seen a whole lot, but I have faith in Kevin McCarthy to do the right thing. I know he has put a CNN reporter in their place the other day for having two-tier justice system and double standards, but we need action. We need impeachment, not just of Biden, of Wray, of Mayorkas, of Garland. Everybody needs to be held accountable for what they're doing to this country.
And this is the time to do it because we have the majority in the House. This is the time to send the message. If we let this slip by, and for whatever reason in the next election, if things go sideways, and with the election as far as transparency or a stolen election, then we've lost our opportunity to send that message, and we have failed the American people if we do not do that.
Well, you're exactly right. They have failed the American people, and we are in this position because the Republican Party has failed the American people. They failed to do the right thing after the rigged election. They failed to do the right thing when they first weaponized the DOJ to go after Trump, when they raided his home with hostage rescue team. The FBI sent their hostage rescue team to raid the former president's house. It's disgusting. And they didn't do the right thing then. They need to do the right thing now. But the problem that the House is running into, doesn't matter how much Kevin McCarthy wants to do it or Marjorie Taylor Greene. Right now, we have a Senate that has led by rhinos such as Mitch McConnell and John Thune, and they have no courage. They have no backbone. And so not only do we have to encourage our House members to do the right thing, but we need to put unrelenting pressure on the Senate to do the right thing, because Mitch McConnell, for the most part, is just as bad as Joe Biden, the radical left.
Let's talk about the wokeness in our culture, that the kickback that Target got and Bud Light got. And I've said this, Alex, before. These companies target a base that, in my opinion, has no real purchasing power. They're not big consumers of the product, because we saw the way Bud Light got nuked, literally got nuked by the conservative consumer. Why didn't this huge base from the left rise up and all of a sudden do a counteractive support to Bud Light and these other companies? You're not seeing it. What's your advice to corporate America when it comes to becoming woke and bowing down to some of these small segments in our society?
That's a great point you made that I don't think enough people are talking about, but you're exactly right. When they lost their conservative base, there was not this sleeping liberal base to come save them from the economic carnage that they were facing.
Why do you think they still do it? Because they're not seeing.
They're terrified. Conservatives have a tendency to be a little bit more polite. If they don't like something, they'll be like, you know what, I don't like it, and I might not support it anymore, or I will, but I'm just going to write down a note that says this company's woke. But the boycotts are working effectively now, and not just the boycotts. What's happening now are these companies, people are identifying companies that share our values. And there's a great company called Public Square. It's a marketplace for non-woke businesses, and there's tens of thousands of the businesses on there right now. And so they're finding alternatives. And so if Bud Light goes woke, you can find a non-woke beer. If a diaper company goes woke, you can find a non-woke diaper company. There's tens of thousands of businesses, hundreds of thousands of businesses that are owned by people who share our values.
I will say this. Ever since the Bud Light thing came by, I cannot find anybody that's drinking a Bud Light in a restaurant. It's almost a joke. I almost want to buy a round of Bud Lights for people that I know.
Okay. Come on, Mr. T.
So he's an Alex. I don't know what his last name is.
He's definitely an Alex, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Now
looks
we've
like
got Jersey Joe said Vito for the guy that was talking to the guy with the glasses on his head.
Okay, Vito's good.
Yeah, Vito's a good one. Yeah.
So Vito's talking to Brian.
Yes.
Oh, you know that other guy that I said was cute with that lady? He could be a Corey too.
That's true.
A Corey.
Yeah.
Have neckties all around. Pass them out and lay them down.
I saw a short, and it was Mitt Romney who said that the American people, after what happened today, need to wake up and realize that Trump is not fit to be president. And he used plural.
He's not fit to be president?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney said that the American people need to realize that Trump is not fit to be president.
What do you make of that?
Well, first he misspoke. Secondly, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's a moron. He didn't win the last election. He stole it because he's stupid. That's what I think.
Jody Terry says Rami is not fit to be human.
That's true, Jody. Yes.
He might not be, Jody. Who knows?
Who is he to say someone's not fit?
You know, that's why I played that video earlier. You guys, it's not so much of liking the person I was playing. It was the words that he was saying. And I think he broke it down perfectly.
Yep.
We need to wake up to what's going on. I mean, we have people screaming in our faces on the boob tube, you know, Trump's an insurrectionist and he's, you know, I mean, it's craziness.
Yeah.
But they think the more they say it, the more we're going to believe it. And some do.
Oh. Jody Terry, I was just going to say something. She just said with a name like Mitt, we should be throwing balls at him.
Can I let my daughter throw a ball at him?
I was thinking, what kind of a name is Mitt? It's like, and no offense to anybody, but it's like calling yourself Buffy or Lovey or, you know.
Oh my gosh. So, Diamond, the other day, Julie Green said something about Vegas, didn't she? Or Heavenly Father did.
Vegas.
I thought there was something about Vegas. Was I wrong?
I don't remember the other day anything with Vegas. Let me look.
Okay.
Said
I swear.
Paris. Keep your eye on Paris. That was yesterday. China.
I thought she said something. So I thought she said something about Vegas.
Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus. Bobolinsky. Remember Bobolinsky?
Oh, yeah.
He's coming back into the news. Bobolinsky.
Oh, Cheshire. That's awesome. She says, Nikki B. Burlington, Massachusetts middle school students tore down the Pride stuff out of their own.
Yes.
I watched a video earlier of this math teacher making these kids watch this transgender stuff in math class. And they're, I think they were middle schoolers too. And they were kind of chuckling and they're like, and one girl says, why are you making us watch this? We don't want to watch this. And the math teacher said, either you watch it or you'll be going to school on Saturdays.
Wasn't that nice? So you actually don't really have a choice.
No choice. I'll tell you what. That my daughter was in that math class.
Yeah.
Ooh, doggy.
Oh, yeah. Janice R., I've got Cage on my list for tomorrow morning's show. We'll pray for him with the fire problems.
Oh, what's he saying? Hold on. Wait a minute.
What's that?
Oh, we can't hear him.
That's Sebastian Gorka.
Yeah, we can't hear him, though. I thought we could hear him. Oh, look at Rico Suave over here. In the pink. That's Rico Suave.
Oh, Rico Suave.
It's always good to see Alex. He is very vocal and animated on social media. Good crowd here. Like I said, it just keeps filling up.
He is Rico Suave.
And it seems like more and more people hear about every time I turn around. I also remind everybody that you can follow us on all of our social.
Yeah, yada, yada, yada.
I bet he reeks of cologne, too.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
Yep. I like that girl's purple top or dress, whatever she's wearing. That's nice.
Yeah, it looks pretty with her hair.
That's not the same one that was swooning all over.
Yeah, that was the Klingon. Yep.
Brett.
Yeah. Corey.
When she gets around, she's down near Rico Suave.
Her nose knows. She went to the cologne.
Yeah.
This guy's just going to videotape everybody.
Yeah.
Come on, Trump. It's 8:25. I wish we could hear what he's saying.
Yeah. He's never met a camera he doesn't like. Sebastian.
Yeah.
He's very good. He's well spoken.
Oh, this guy looks mad.
Oh.
Ooh, he's got a bird's nest too.
Now, let's see what his name. I think he looks like a hunter.
Oh no, no, no. He might be the Walter of the crowd.
He's the Walter.
I always call Hank Walter because he always, he's an old English bulldog. So he just always looks like he's sad, like an old sad man. That guy looks like an old Spicoli.
Oh. Fredo.
Fredo. I'll bet you he doesn't show up till 9 o'clock. This is ridiculous.
Well, they said 8:15.
Well, it's 8:26.
Yeah, so they're not on time. Oh yeah, someone said, "Oh, Mike Casal, you ladies see Pelosi throw out the first pitch in D.C. at the ball game. Oh Lord, boo! She got booed. I saw, and there weren't very many people in the stands because it was Pride Night or Pride. Yeah, I think it was Pride Night, and not a lot of people went.
Good.
Yeah, that's what I said. And she threw out the first pitch.
Could you imagine that old drunk trying to throw a
Oh,
baseball?
lucky she didn't fall off the pitching mound.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah, Marilyn, I saw there was the stands were very, very bare.
Did you guys hear that there's a pride flag on the White House?
Is it in the back?
I don't know. I heard it's on the White House. That's all I heard.
Oh, because he had an event there, I think this weekend or something, and there was the American flag and the pride flags, and people were up in arms because he had them in between columns.
Isn't
in
that the
back.
People's House, Diamond?
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Yes.
I think I'm with Jody Terry. We need to serve eviction papers.
Yes.
Evacuate the premises.
Yes, I would sign that one.
I couldn't believe when he was talking to that young boy. What was his name? The one he was just interviewing? Alex?
Alex, yeah.
That only 4 Republicans have signed on to impeach?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, they don't have any, pardon the French, they got no balls.
No Sparkies.
I'm sorry to be crude. I'm sorry to be crude, but that's what it boils down to. They have no kahunas.
Jody says it was in between 2 American flags. Level. Disgusting. Oh my God.
Yeah, somebody was saying that the American flag should have been higher than the pride.
Unbelievable. They're just cramming it down our throats.
They are. They don't care. Now he's changed it to 8:45.
Oh my goodness.
Look at the sky though.
Maybe Trump had to use the little boy's room.
Now we're going back to, let's see. Who do we got in the crowd there? I'll be right back, Nikki.
Okay. Okay. Oh, let's take some selfies. Here we go. I'm sorry about this, you guys. Nothing I can do about it. Let me get Mr. T on speed dial here and tell him he needs to hurry up, that I've been live waiting on him. All All right, I tried to look up that public square he was talking about. Do you guys know anything about it? That store he was talking about you could shop at? Oh, here it is, maybe. What? Maybe not. That's true, Jody Terry. I'm the one that's impatient. He might need to use the little boy's room or maybe have a bite to eat or that's right, Mike Mazda. Everything in God's time. I'm just hoping it's going to be good. Oh, it's an app? Thanks, TJ Katz. I'm going to check it out. Have you checked it out? Is it worth downloading the app?
You know, if they would keep panning the crowd, it's gonna be like a dating website. We can pick pick a date.
Well, if Trump comes back to Michigan, I'm getting into this rally and I'm going early.
Well, you left, I mean, relatively early.
Oh no, you have to leave and get in line at 7 o'clock in the morning, Diamond.
Oh,
and
my
then he
goodness
doesn't show up till
gracious.
8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, my goodness.
You know what, Ken M? I'm not sure about the military stepping in. I pray we still have good people in the military that are going to help us if needed. But I know God has his military that's going to help us.
His army's on its way or is here already.
That's
We
right.
don't know. Mm-hmm.
Well, RSBN's trying to sell us supplements. That's right, Marilyn Panamareco. She says, I'm a soldier. Me too.
Yes.
Reporting for duty, sir.
Yes. Front and center.
So what are your guys' thoughts? Do you think Mr. T is going to say anything special tonight?
Oh, Laughs a Lot says, Nikki B, Mr. T's team is looking for volunteers for upcoming rallies. You're guaranteed to get in that way. I know someone who volunteers in Pennsylvania.
Do you have a site for that, Laughs a Lot? If so, email it to me, please. Cheshire says, Nikki B, did you hear about Trump going to the Waffle House and there were full armored soldiers photographed with goggles? That was the other day, right? He went into the Waffle House.
Yeah, I think so.
It's so funny because we travel so much for my daughter's travel softball team. And I swear there's a Waffle House on every corner, everywhere, every state we go into.
Wow.
And I always look at them as like truck stops.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're ramping up big time, Wolfpack. Thanks, Laughs a Lot. I appreciate that. Also, there were 2 white vans traveling with Trump at North Carolina Airport. Had soldiers with him in his caravan. Wow.
Oh. Mm. Yeah, Maryland, there is no Waffle House in Maine that I know of.
I've never been to Maine. That's one of the states we have yet to get to. I will though.
Tracy
Oh.
too. Hi.
Oh, hi, Tracy. Good to see you.
Good to see you, girlfriend.
Love you, Tracy. I hope all's well. How you been doing with the smoke out there in New York? That's awesome, Cheshire. She said they were armed. Yeah. I think Mr. T is well insulated for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Diamond, is there something up in Main Way, like going towards Canada part up there, that there's like an underground city or something? That like when the tide goes down or something, you can walk on the bottom of the ocean floor? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
All right, I'm going to get more info, but my boss was saying today they're taking a trip up that way and they are landing in Maine and then driving up.
Yeah.
She piqued my interest when she said Maine.
Oh. Well, I know that there are spots where there are sandbars, and like when the tide would go out, you could walk to the sandbar with no problem, but you didn't want to get stuck when the tide started coming in because it would be over your head.
Hey,
But
Craig, you want to come up? I'll have to get. It sounded like a really cool trip they were taking.
Oh, hi, Craig. If she's heading to towards Canada,
Yeah.
the ocean would not be near her.
Well, she said it was. I don't know. I'll find out and let you know.
Okay. Now there is.
She said she was flying into Portland, Maine.
Yeah.
And then heading to, and I know you've said the name before. It starts with a B.
Bangor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then heading down the coast, she said.
Okay. Yeah, if you go along the coast, we've got down south here is Kennebunkport, where the Bushes have a home. And then you keep going up and there's Bar Harbor. We call it Bahaba. Bahaba. And Bahaba. And you keep going up and there's Castine, where the Maine Maritime Academy is. A lot of that's where a lot of young people go and get their.
Oh, here comes the helicopter. Yeah, see, I told you I'm on there. I'm on that helicopter. I'm just talking to you guys through my phone.
Pretty colors.
Told you he was going to pick me up in the helicopter.
They said he was in a vehicle.
No, looks like he's in a helicopter to me.
Well, that's a vehicle, right?
Yeah. Just doesn't have tires.
Does it say Trump? Is it a Trump helicopter?
What's it say, Diamond?
I'm looking.
See, state trooper.
Hold still.
I think it said state trooper.
Oh.
So maybe they're just flying around to protect them.
Oh, maybe. They got to hold that helicopter still so I can read the side.
I think it said state trooper.
No, the Bushes don't have a home in Bar Harbor. They have it in Kennebunkport, which is in southern Maine. Kennebunkport's probably about 35, 45 minutes from where I am. 35 to 45. But they're right on, their house is on a jetty. It's got a bunch of rocks to protect it from the ocean. And they're out on a jetty. So, I mean, the ocean's right there. You look out your window and there's the ocean.
Isla just said they just showed them pulling in.
Okay. Thank you, Isla.
I'll be right back, Diamond.
Okie doke. Oh, thank you, Hawk. Hawk says that's the State Trooper Air Security Guide. He will use a situational update as to the size of the crowd and the path is clear. Okay. Well, I'll tell you, I saw some dudes that you're not going to mess with. These guys they come out of underneath the courthouse where Mr. T drove in. He drove in underneath the underground parking, and these dudes came up before his vehicle came back out after the proceedings. These dudes were in, they looked like SWAT teams, only they were in camouflage. They had rifles, looked like Kevlar vests, but they also had like, I don't know, to me it looked like ammunition holders. They had helmets, and these dudes, you weren't going to mess with them. And he's just a former president, supposedly.
You sure got a lot of protection for being a former president.
Right. That would be correct. Come on, Mr. T. Oh yeah, Hawk. They look like they were sharpshooters. They had each one of them had a rifle, and it was long. It went their whole, I would say, their body down to the knees. It looks like it's starting. There's people coming out.
Okay.
Are politicizing our justice system to influence the 2024 presidential race, and now we've got it's something that is unprecedented. It has never been done before for a former president, has ever been charged. Now this witch hunt, it isn't a prosecution. This is more of a persecution.
I said hi, hi Brian Platt.
Hi, Brian. Melvita, hi.
Hey, Melvita. Hey, Janice R.
Was that Eric that just came out?
Oh, I don't know. I turned my head.
No, RSBN, rewind. I think that was Eric. He was in like a blue suit. Uh-oh.
I just rewound it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Sorry, I don't see him.
No, I was going to patch you back.
I got a feeling they're going to play that song when he comes out, and I don't want to get hit for copyright.
Okay.
But we'll see. 8:45.
Isla says she thought it was. Yeah, she thinks I'm right. So
yeah, Jody said it looked like Eric too.
Yeah,
maybe he flew in with them. Maybe he was with them.
That's true. Because he wouldn't have had to go very far, unless he went down. See, people said,
Up,
oh,
up,
there he is.
up, up, up.
Up, 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 up.
Sorry.
Today, and there ain't no.
God bless the
The
USA.
USA.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains, from sea to shining sea.
Equine took Eric with him in Miami and flew there with him, with the kids.
What's that?
Equine Freedom Homestead says Eric was with him in Miami and flew there with him and the kiddos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where's his wife?
Yeah, I didn't even see Don Jr. People said Don Jr. I didn't see any of the family members.
But where's his wife, though? Shouldn't she be by his side right now?
Maybe she was there. I don't know. Oh, you mean tonight? Or maybe she's, I don't know. Wolfpack 6 is singing. You can't hear her.
An American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly
Stand up next to you.
Keep going, Diamond.
Because there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Thank you. Thank you.
My granddaughter's snapping her fingers.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. It's a great honor to have you here. And today we witness the most evil and heinous abuse of power in the history of our country. Very sad thing to watch. A corrupt sitting president had his top political opponent arrested on fake and fabricated charges of which he and numerous other presidents would be guilty, right in the middle of a presidential election in which he is losing very badly. This is called election interference and yet another attempt to rig and steal a presidential election. More importantly, it's a political persecution like something straight out of a fascist or communist nation. This day will go down in infamy, and Joe Biden will forever be remembered as not only the most corrupt president in the history of our country, but perhaps even more importantly, the president who, together with a band of his closest thugs, misfits, and Marxists, tried to destroy American democracy. But they will fail and we will win bigger and better than ever before. Charging a former president of the United States under the Espionage Act of 1917 wasn't meant for this. An act for a crime so heinous that only the death penalty would do, and threatening me with 400 years in prison for possessing my own presidential papers, which just about every other president has done, is one of the most outrageous and vicious legal theories ever put forward in an American court of law. The Espionage Act has been used to go after traitors and spies. It has nothing to do with a former president legally keeping his own documents. As president, the law that applies to this case is not the Espionage Act, but very simply the Presidential Records Act, which is not even mentioned in this ridiculous 44-page indictment. Under the Presidential Records Act, which is civil, not criminal, I had every right to have these documents.
The crucial legal precedent is laid out in the most important case ever on this subject, known as the Clinton Socks case. You know what that means? After leaving the White House, Bill Clinton kept 79 audio tapes in his sock drawer. They included discussions of U.S. military involvement in Haiti, discussions of U.S. foreign policy, both defense and offense, against Cuba, recordings of President Clinton's conversations with all of the many foreign leaders at the time. Think of that. Sensitive facts about trade negotiations taken from presidential briefings, discussions with the Secretary of State about conflict in Bosnia, and much, much more. Very big stuff. Not only was Bill Clinton never even considered for criminal prosecution based on the tapes he took, but when he was sued for them, he won the case. Judge Amy Berman Jackson's decision states, under the statutory scheme established by the Presidential Records Act, the decision to segregate personal materials from presidential records is made by the president during the president's term and in the president's sole discretion. You're surprised to hear that, aren't you? Any normal administration, even an opposing one, would consider that to be the end, but not the corrupt Biden administration. The Sox decision, as it's known, also states, quote, the National Archives and Records Administration, or NARA, does not have the authority to designate material as presidential records. I don't have the authority. NARA does not have the tapes in question, and NARA lacks any right, duty, or means to seize control of them. This is law. The president enjoys unconstrained authority to make decisions regarding the disposal of documents. That's unconstrained to make that decision. Neither the archivist nor Congress has the authority to veto the president's decision. The Presidential Records Act does not confer any mandatory or even discretionary authority on the archivist to classify records. Under the statute, this responsibility is left solely to the President of the United States. Think of that. That's the decision. Think of that. Now, just think of that. In other words, whatever documents a president decides to take with him, he has the right to do so. It's an absolute right. This is the law. And that is something that people have now seen, and it couldn't be more clear. They ought to drop this case immediately because they're destroying the country. And this is why no other president, even those who kept far more documents than I, has ever been even investigated, let alone charged with a crime. Because the sham indictment put forward by the Biden administration included staged photographs of boxes at Mar-a-Lago, many people have asked me why I had these boxes. Why did you want them? The answer, in addition to having every right under the Presidential Records Act, is that these boxes were containing all types of personal belongings, many, many things, shirts and shoes and everything. As can be seen in the picture where someone, not me, I wonder who it might have been, dumped one of the very neatly arranged boxes all over the floor. They were full of newspapers, press clippings, thousands of pictures, thousands and thousands of White House pictures. The White House photographers, some are with us today. They took so many pictures and we saved all of them, and they were in those boxes. Clothing, memorabilia, and much, much more. I hadn't had a chance to go through all the boxes. It's a long, tedious job, takes a long time, which I was prepared to do, but I have a very busy life. I've had a very busy life. They make it more busy because you're always fighting. And under the Sox decision, there seemed to be no rush. I wasn't in a rush because that decision was law. The other picture that was so vile, you remember that one? It was angry and corrupt, was the photo staged by the FBI. And those that raided Mar-a-Lago, they were putting documents all over the floor. Remember that famous picture? All over, say confidential, said presidential, said all sorts of things. And it was supposed to be there like it was that way when they raided. It wasn't that way. They put them there, took the picture, and released it illegally to the press. They took my medical records, my passport, my birth certificate, and apologized. They even brought a safecracker. This is a professional safecracker they brought into Mar-a-Lago. And they broke into my safe. And you know what they found? Nothing. There was nothing there. Nothing there. Like zero. According to the Presidential Records Act, which was a big deal, I was supposed to negotiate with NARA, which is exactly what I was doing until Mar-a-Lago was raided by gun-toting FBI agents. I have security tapes of it. I gave them security tapes of everything. In a flagrant violation of the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution, which protects the right against unreasonable search and seizure. And Sebastian, you covered very well, I must say. Very well. I'm not the one who thinks I'm above the law. I'm the one that followed the law. I'm the only one. It's Joe Biden and his corrupt Department of Injustice who think they are above the law. Never before have the two standards of justice in our country been more starkly revealed. Joe Biden had troves of classified documents from his time as vice president and even as a senator, which was completely and totally illegal. In fact, other senators heard about it. Dick Durbin heard about it. You have to see his response. There's no way that's totally illegal. Took him as a senator out of a skiff. They were shocked when they found out. They actually thought it was impossible to do. Biden sent 1,850 boxes to the University of Delaware, making the search very, very difficult for anybody. And he refuses to give them up, and he refuses to let people even look at them. And then they say how he's behaving so nicely. Many of Biden's classified documents were in Chinatown, D.C., Chinatown, which is shocking considering his family received so much money from China. I wonder how many times the friends of ours from China reviewed those documents. Chinatown, D.C. Others were unsecured at his so-called Penn Biden Center in Washington, which paid Biden approximately $1 million a year. The money supposedly coming from China, and still other classified documents were strewn all over his garage floor, where his now famous Corvette is stored. He's so proud of that car. There was no security, and the door was left open most of the time. It was open. All of those classified documents, all of those documents strewn all over the floor, piled up like junk. Unlike me, who had absolute declassification authority as president, Joe Biden as vice president had no authority to declassify and no right to possess the documents. He had no right. Instead of falling under the Presidential Records Act, Biden's actions fell under a much stricter Federal Records Act, which has very, very tough criminal penalties. Yet nothing happens to Crooked Joe. Nothing happened. Have you heard anything about the big search for his documents? No, only me. Most infamously of all, Hillary Clinton set up an illegal private server in her basement. You never heard this story. With the deliberate intention of violating public information laws so she could hide her pay-for-play scandals at the Clinton foundations or whatever. Hillary stored vast quantities of classified and sensitive information on her illicit server. Some of it happened to leak. It leaked into Anthony Weiner's computer. Remember Anthony Weiner? Into his computer. You don't want to be on his computer. And all of it was illegal because thankfully she was never president. She didn't have the powers to declassify. Thank you. Thank you. She didn't have the powers to declassify. It's a big difference. And neither did Joe. You know, Joe didn't have, your mind? Have a drink. It's a little bit cooler than it was. It's pretty hot out here. Thank you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Great birthday. Nice birthday, isn't it? Nice birthday. Wonderful birthday. They were saying happy birthday. I was with Eric and Laura, the kids. Happy birthday, Grandpa. Happy. And I said, oh, great. I just got charged with, they want 400 years approximately. If you add them all up, a fake 400 years. Oh, thank you, darling. That's so nice. It's a wonderful birthday. We're going to make it into the greatest birthday of all. We'll make it into the greatest of all. When caught, Hillary then deleted and acid washed. Nobody does that because of the expense, but it's pretty conclusive. 33,000 emails in defiance of a congressional subpoena already launched. The subpoena was there, and she decided to delete, acid wash, and then smash and destroy her cell phones with a hammer. And then they say, I participated in obstruction? Now think of it. That's called obstruction. There's never been obstruction as grave as that. She did this in the face of everything, and yet nobody did anything about it. The FBI and the DOJ protected her, did not issue subpoenas, did not use a grand jury, did not execute search warrants, and then the corrupt head of the FBI, James Comey, declared no reasonable prosecutor would bring a case. Can you believe it? And that was just one of many items. Hillary Clinton broke the law, and she didn't get indicted. Joe Biden broke the law, and in many other ways we're finding out, and so far has not gotten indicted. I did everything right, and they indicted me. But, you know, we're serving as a great example. In the case of Bill Clinton's national security advisor, remember that? Sandy Berger. He was caught stealing classified documents from the National Archives, very big ones, very important ones, by stuffing them in his pants. That's pretty. And putting them also in his socks. And he destroyed them and cut the tape with scissors, cut them all up. What Berger did was highly illegal, but he was given nothing, no jail time, nothing happened. There are countless other examples. Bill Clinton, who I happen to like, hard to believe, right? Before I did this, I was actually quite friendly with him. Nice guy. They should have used him a little bit more as an advisor on the 2016 election. He said, you know, you better get to Wisconsin, you're going to lose. No, we're not. You better get to Michigan, you're going to lose. No, we're not. They did. Bill Clinton lost the nuclear codes, and absolutely nothing was done about it. He lost the nuclear codes. The George W. Bush White House lost 22 million emails, a record. NARA cannot assure complete transfer of any of the Bush records. A document shredding truck was spotted on the way to Dick Cheney's house. Can you imagine? Hillary Clinton took hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of furniture, china, flatware, rugs, and more from the White House, and she wasn't prosecuted. How about that one? She took the furniture and the china. How about if Trump did that? You think Trump would have a little problem? The horrific violations of my rights by crooked Joe Biden's weaponized Department of Injustice are unthinkable. It's unthinkable what's happened. So bad for our country. Democrats all, they lawlessly pierced my attorney-client privilege with lawyers. What they did to lawyers, what they have done to our lawyers, all of our lawyers, they've done things that were absolutely horrible and unthinkable. The leaking has been unbelievable and highly illegal. They leak. We've learned more from from the Washington Post, New York Times about the DOJ's boxes hoax. It's a boxes hoax. Then from prosecutors themselves. We want to read about it. You pick up the Washington Post, which is not doing well, or you pick up the New York Times. But they'll do better now because of these things. You know, this is the only way they survive, but they'll end up dying. But it's not supposed to be that way. We don't want to learn from the Times. We don't want to learn from leaks. We want to learn from the people we're supposed to learn from. It's like a leaking sieve in Washington. But we learned nothing about the Biden bribery scheme or special counsel Robert Hur's investigation. Robert Hur is doing the Biden investigation. He's a very respected, very nice person. Very nice person. Mine's not such a nice person. Mine's a deranged lunatic, which are many times the magnitude of ours in both number and severity. That's the prosecutor that they gave. He has found nothing. He totally exonerated Mike Pence. I'm happy about that. Mike did nothing wrong, but he happened to have classified documents in his house. But they exonerated him, and Biden is a different story. I mean, so much. You have to really think about what I said as a senator. He took all of those documents. It's unprecedented. The prosecutor in the case, I will call it our case, is a thug. I've named him Deranged Jack Smith. I wonder what his name used to be, Jack Smith. It sounds so innocent, doesn't it? Jack Smith. What's his name? Jack Smith. He's a very nice man. He's a behind-the-scenes guy, but his record is absolutely atrocious. He does political hit jobs. He's been known to viciously arrest a certain governor. You know the governor, Bob McDonnell of Virginia, and absolutely ruined his life and the life of his family. All these wonderful family members, I knew them, only to have the case overturned 8-0 by the Supreme Court. He destroyed that man and he destroyed that family. And by the way, I will tell you, I'm here and I love you all and we can take it. But what these thugs have done to my family is a disgrace. I will tell you that. I say it to all of the fake news because there's a lot of it back there. What they did to my family and that young man right there, he's answered more subpoenas than any human being in the history of the world. And you know what? They have nothing after all of those subpoenas, literally thousands of them. Congress, fake counsels, Mueller report, all of this, all he did is answer subpoenas all the time. At least he's become very experienced at that. Congratulations. But Eric is fantastic, and what he and Don and Ivanka and the whole group, that's what they've gone through, and these are serious people. These are serious people, but what he's done to my family, what they have done to my family is horrible. He also tried to railroad John Edwards on a completely bogus legal theory that didn't hold up in court. It's no wonder this raging lunatic was shipped off to The Hague to prosecute war criminals using globalist tribunals, not beholden to the Constitution or the rule of law. Two things Jack Smith clearly disdains. You take a look at this guy, he looks like a thug. But then I watched him make a speech the other day and he was trembling because it wasn't his territory. He feels much safer in the inner sanctums of the Department of Injustice where he can be in his room and scream at people. He's a raging and uncontrolled Trump hater, as is his wife, who also happened to be the producer of that Michelle Obama puff piece. It was total puff piece. This is the guy I've got. Don't forget this persecution is being done by the same weaponized agencies that for 7 years have been running illegal psychological warfare campaigns against the American people, much as if they were trying to destabilize a foreign country. From the Russia hoax to the no collusion Mueller witch hunt to impeachment hoax number 1, impeachment hoax number 2, the 51 lying intelligence offers. How about them? They said it's Russia disinformation, and they knew it wasn't, which made about, according to some of the great pollsters that are right here, made from anywhere from a 10 to 17-point difference. And yet we still got more votes than any sitting president in history in the second election. And we actually did much better in the second election than we did in the first election. The fake dossier paid for by the Democrats. How about the fake dossier? Remember that one? I think that was easy to go home and say, "Hello, darling, how are you?" when they read about that. It wasn't easy at all. Spying on my campaign, we caught them spying on my campaign. The FBI, Twitter files, and so much more. It's all been a battle of disinformation, one thing after the other, and all to protect the radical left misfits. It's also no coincidence that these charges against me came down the very same day. Evidence revealed Joe Biden took a $5 million bribe from Ukraine. Took a $5 million bribe. But the FBI and the Justice Department don't even want to talk about it. They showed something on television tonight. It had zero time on the three major networks, zero. But my impeachment had almost all the time. I think I had 351 minutes. They had no minutes. Okay? I think a lot of people are going to vote. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to vote. I will tell you, I just left Miami, and I've never seen love in the streets like that. I've never seen it. We've seen a lot of love. I've never seen love like that because they know what we all go through. They know what we've gone through, and they see it, and they're smart. And, you know, many of those people coming from Cuba, Venezuela, other countries, they've seen this happening to their countries. I used to say that the United States, if it keeps going this way, it's going to be Venezuela on steroids. And now we're buying oil from Venezuela. Can you believe it? We have more liquid gold under our feet than any other nation, but we're buying tar from Venezuela, and we're refining it in Houston, the dirtiest, worst oil probably anywhere in the world, and we're refining it. So you can imagine what's going up in the air, and our beautiful stuff we're not taking out of the ground and making a lot of money and paying off debt and reducing taxes still further, which we were in the process of doing. They want to distract from the real espionage and the real crime, so let's use President Trump to do so. Let's go out and let's indict President Trump so they don't talk about the $5 million bribe. Just yesterday, Senator Grassley revealed that the Burisma executive who allegedly paid the bribe reportedly has Crooked Joe on tape. They have 17 tapes, I understand. He must be a nice guy to deal with, right? The guy from Burisma, nice company. They got him and Hunter on 17 different tapes, supposedly. But the FBI isn't showing them. Remember, they impeached me for asking a simple question about Biden's corrupt dealings in Ukraine. And now they see that once again, I was right. I was right. I was totally right. Joe Biden and the radical left can take foreign bribes and be totally protected. Republicans all, you must finally get tough. You've got to get tough. You got to get tough, and you got to show them. When you arrest your leading political opponent, we no longer have a democracy. When people are allowed to pour through our open borders and our elections are rigged, our country is in very serious trouble. When inflation is allowed to rage, when energy independence and dominance, we had independence and dominance. We were going to be soon very, very dominant. Within 6 months, we're going to dominate the whole world with energy, make a fortune. We were going to be paying off debt and lowering taxes at a level that nobody's ever seen. And they came in and they ended it. But when that's taken away from us, when interest rates and taxes spiral upward in an uncontrolled way, when murderers are allowed to roam, murderers, these are horrible killers, murderers are allowed to roam the streets of our Democrat-run cities unchecked, but the incompetent district attorney in New York indicts Trump for a crime that everybody agrees, every pundit, everybody, there is no crime. But murderers go out and nobody ever even comes and knocks on their door, and they know they're there, and they know their rooms, and they know their locations, and they're roaming our cities all over. And some of them are coming in right now through our borders. But then you have a nation that, as we are, is in serious, serious decline. We have a nation in serious decline. If the communists get away with this, it won't stop with me. They will not hesitate to ramp up their persecution of Christians, pro-life activists, parents attending school board meetings, and even future Republican candidates, which they do. We must end it permanently, and we must end it immediately. Now that the seal, so important, is broken, the seal is broken by what they've done. They should never have done this. This was an unwritten rule. You just don't, unless it's really bad. But you just don't. But the seal is now broken. In addition to closing the border and removing all of the criminal elements that have illegally invaded our country, making America energy independent and even dominant again, and immediately ending the war between Russia and Ukraine. I'll have it ended in 24 hours. I will appoint a real special prosecutor to go after the most corrupt president in the history of the United States of America, Joe Biden, and the entire Biden crime family. Name a special prosecutor. And all others involved with the destruction of our elections, our borders, and our country itself. They're destroying our country. And when I'm reelected, and we will get reelected, we have no choice. We're not going to have a country anymore. I will totally obliterate the deep state. We will obliterate the deep state. And we know who they are. I know exactly who they are. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. It's very simple. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. They want you silent. And I am the only one that can save this nation because you know they're not coming after me, they're coming after you, and I just happen to be standing in their way, and I will never be moving. On November 5th, 2024, justice will be done. We will take back our country, and we will make America great again. Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great job. Thank you.
Well, darn it, Diamond.
Yeah, I was hoping he'd tell us a little bit about the proceedings.
Yeah. I think it's all just smoke and mirrors.
Tracy Q, that's perfectly fine. Thank you. My pleasure to take those.
Hey, Tennessee Ridge Runner, good to see you.
Oh, there's Tennessee. Hi.
Well, I was really hoping he was going to say, even in a roundabout way.
The storm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shoot.
Well,
what's next?
Okay. Well, we know somebody said that General Flynn said that.
Yep.
He tweeted it out. Is that what they said?
I think so. Truth or tweeted. I'm not sure what platform he was on.
Yep.
But I would really like to hear it from his mouth.
Yeah.
That's
MES
just-
is saying, what does he mean the seal is broken?
You know, watch the water. Now that the seal's broken in the faucet, it's just going to come pouring out. That's the way I see it.
Oh, that seal. Okay.
That seal, yes.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. I don't know. Do you guys have another thought on that? But I think that the information is going to come flooding out now.
Oh, yeah. It's really, we've seen it. Like every day it seems to be something, doesn't it, Nikki?
Yeah. We've been told for 3 years now that we're in an information war, right?
Yeah.
So let the information flow our direction now.
Yeah.
I think it's our turn.
Yep. Bring it on. We're ready.
Or the indictment seal. Ooh, good thought there, Digital Hawk.
Oh, Patriot Bob says seal is broken, can go after previous presidents.
That's true too. Diamond, would you mind looking up drop number 1111?
Not at all. Let me get
The
on to
seal
that.
is where presidents cannot be prosecuted. With Mr. T being prosecuted, the rest can be as well. Yes. Okay. All right.
That makes sense.
That does make sense.
Yep. And it's gonna get interesting.
It's
Let's
going to get
see.
very, very interesting. All right. Well, I'm going to stop sharing the screen.
1111, right?
Yep. Thanks for hanging in there with us, you guys. And we even got to sing happy birthday to Mr. T.
Yes.
And I know he heard us.
He actually did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me see here.
Digital Hawk says it resonated with me that he said physical war. Oh, psychological war. Sorry. Psychological war. Oh, sorry, Diamond.
No, you're all set. Let me know when.
It's up.
Okay. 11/11, April 9th, 2018. It says this was quick. Just did bullet 2. Session public attack. About 20 minutes ago live. Next, RR. Yes, plan seems to be moving right along. Context. Forgot to post this along with original post. April. And then A, capital A in brackets. IG report. Sessions public attack. RR problems. Seals broken.
Arrests.
And then A with the letter A in
Bracket.
brackets arrests. Why was Huber made public? Why now? Everything has meaning. A in brackets and then WAN, WAN. Tarmac, Iran. NK, U1, F to the B to the I, D to the O to the J. Mueller, election integrity, immigration bill, border, wall, military start, big month. Amazing coincidence. The plus sign, military start / wall. You have more than you know. Reason we are here, more. I called it the Department of Injustice.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yes, Jamie Babursky. She said, I feel like I'm in the game of Clue.
Yes.
It was Colonel Mustard in the library with the candlestick.
Yes.
Hubert Corp? Question mark? I don't know, Janice. Do you, Diamond?
What's that now?
Hubert Corp?
It was Huber, Huber.
Oh, no T. Huber?
No.
Okay.
Awakened Trillium also asked, the words in the brackets, they spell a word. And what would that be? So let me go back. There's an A. There's an A. 3 A's. AAA.
AAA.
Oh, AAA.
Well,
I know R is Rod Rosenstein, right?
Sure.
That sounds good. Let's see who Huber is.
Huber Corp.
Huber, H-U-B, J.M. Huber Corporation. It's a portfolio management company providing industrial products and engineered material solutions.
Oh. It's okay, Janice.
It's out of Edison, New Jersey. 4,000 employees.
It's not a small company.
No. I don't know. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Huber. Yep. Well, AAA. That's AAA, which is the car place.
Well, you said 3 A's, right?
Yes.
How do you break a magic spell? You realize you've been under a magic spell. That was from John Dunning. Hey, Georgia.
I'm gonna put, let me do another search, and I'm gonna say.
Oh, Debbie Golden's saying that Huber is one of the special prosecutors, Diamond.
All right. I just typed in who is Huber, and it comes up with a John W. Huber, and it says Huber has served as the United States Attorney and lead federal law enforcement official in Utah since June of 2015.
Not what it seems says. The RR is also railroads.
That's true. In March 29th of 2018, Utah U.S. Attorney John Huber was revealed Thursday as the person Attorney General Jeff Sessions tasked with looking into Republican claims of, let me see.
Oh, and George is also saying he was appointed by Sessions.
Yep, he was appointed. It says Utah U.S. Attorney John Huber was revealed Thursday as the person Attorney General Jeff Sessions tasked with looking into Republican claims of F to the B to the I misconduct and whether more should have been done to investigate Hillary Clinton's ties to a Russian nuclear agency. Huber, who has served in both Democratic and Republican administrations as a career prosecutor, nearly had his tenure as U.S. Attorney cut short last year. In March of 2017, shortly after he took charge of the Justice Department, Sessions asked for the resignations of 46 U.S. attorneys who were previous administration holdovers. Originally appointed by President Barack Obama in 2015, Huber offered his resignation, leaving his fate in the hands of the D to the O to the J. But Donald Trump renominated him in June of 2017, and 2 months later, he was back at his former post, confirmed by the U.S. Senate for an additional 4 years.
You know, I just opened up the Gateway Pundit. And in one article, it says, just in, Trump pleads not guilty, no further conditions imposed, no travel restrictions, no cash bond imposed, blah, 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 right? Then you go over to the other side and CNN's reporting, just in, Trump and aide Walt Nulta under arrest at Miami Federal Courthouse, booked and fingerprinted. That was at 1:45 p.m. today. And at 3:35, Trump pleads not guilty, no further conditions. I mean, these people.
What?
Yeah, they're saying that he was booked, fingerprinted, him and his attorney. That's what CNN's saying.
Well, the only reason you'd be fingerprinted is if you were under arrest.
Right.
Or if he was a flight risk, which he's not.
Now, didn't we just listen to him speak live?
Yes.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. They just put out this crap and make people think things that aren't true.
Right.
Oh, we might want to watch this.
Gina H says they were booked and fingerprinted. Then there was the hearing and no further restrictions. Cheshire says Nikki B, the lawyer, was fingerprinted.
I found something I'm going to share. Hold on. I don't know what I have no idea what we're going to hear here, but I want to hear what he's got to say. Mr. Tucker Carlson. I thought it was a video. Yep.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. The Biden administration arrested Donald Trump this afternoon. They had him arraigned and fingerprinted in a Miami courthouse like the accused felon he now technically is. These were the first steps in a process that is designed to put Donald Trump behind bars for the rest of his life. Cable news carried every moment of it live. It's unprecedented, they told us, with what looked like shock. But they weren't shocked. We knew this was coming. Everyone who's paid attention knew it was. What just happened was always going to happen. It's been inevitable since February 16, 2016. That's the day Donald Trump made a blood enemy of the largest and most powerful organization in human history, which would be the federal government. Despite what you may remember, it wasn't anything that Trump had said about immigration or trade with China or rapists from Mexico. Those are the stories that dominated the headlines that year. Trump's a racist, they screamed. Stop him. But inside Washington, that was just noise. None of it really rated. Identity politics doesn't mean much to permanent Washington. What matters then and now is foreign policy, the invasions and occupations and proxy wars, the decisions that determine which global populations will thrive and which will die, the policies that come with trillion-dollar price tags, the ones that over time have made the counties around DC the richest suburbs in the world. In Washington, that's what actually matters. And it's obvious when you look carefully. When there's a debate about anything else, for example, the debt ceiling, both sides take their assigned positions and they start yelling. But when Congress decides to start a war, no matter how foolish or counterproductive or obviously disconnected from America's core interests that war may be, when that happens, the leaders of both parties automatically jump behind it like circus clowns. And then they stay there, sometimes for decades. They defend that war relentlessly against all evidence until somebody finally rings the all clear bell and they can begin to admit that actually, maybe it wasn't such a great idea. We meant well, but it just didn't work out. The good news is we've learned a lot of important lessons. In the end, they usually do say something like that, but only after emotions have cooled and the damning details have begun to fade from collective memory. It's an apology that's not actually an apology, much less repentance, and it's years too late to matter in any case. But until then, that's all you're getting. Until then, no dissent is allowed. That's the first rule of Washington. But somehow Trump didn't bother to follow it. He is from out of town, so maybe he didn't know it was a rule, or maybe he just didn't care. Either way, 7.5 years later, we can point to the precise moment that permanent Washington decided to send Donald Trump to prison. Here it is. It's from the Republican candidates debate in Greenville, South Carolina.
We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East. They lied. They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
All right. We should never have been in Iraq, Trump said. We destabilized the Middle East. Now, by the time Trump said that, a lot of Republican primary voters were starting to reach the same conclusion. How could they not? But it was the next line that doomed Trump to today's arrest. They lied, he said. There were no weapons of mass destruction, and they knew there were none. Now, when he said that, a few in the crowd booed. Most just sat there in silence, stunned. Can he say that? Well, he said it anyway. And by saying that, he sealed his fate. That was the one thing you were not allowed to say because it implicated too many people on both sides, which on this topic is really just one side. Hillary Clinton was guilty of it, but so was Paul Ryan. All of them were guilty. They all knew, they all lied. And to a person, they hated Donald Trump for exposing them. After that, it was pretty clear that even if he did get elected president, Trump was going to have a very hard time controlling the federal government he was supposed to be in charge of. Most of permanent Washington decided that thwarting Trump was the single most important mission in their lives. Everything depended on it. Many of them said so publicly, but others didn't say so publicly. In fact, the stealthier ones took another path. They ran toward Trump, not away from him. They sucked up to him. They ingratiated themselves with the man they intuitively understood was susceptible to flattery, which Trump is. And they did this in order to subvert his new administration from the inside. There were a number of these, and you could spot them immediately. They were flatterers. Invariably, the ones who flattered Trump the most hated him the most and disagreed the most strongly with his views. You saw them in the hallways of the White House and at press conferences. They were there slobbering over their boss with elaborate self-abasement, as if they were addressing a monarch or a god. It was a scene from the Ottoman court. It was filthy and decadent, and it was false. Mike Pence, Nikki Haley, Mike Pompeo, Lindsey Graham in the Congress. They all called Trump a visionary genius up until the moment he lost power. And then they unsheathed their real agenda, as always, the neocon war agenda, and they piled on with maximum force. Here's Mike Pompeo, for example, on Fox News this morning.
President Trump had classified documents where he shouldn't have had them. And then when given the opportunity to return them, he chose not to do that for whatever reason. When somebody identifies that, you got to turn them in. And so that's inconsistent with protecting America's soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines. And if the allegations are true, some of these were pretty serious, important documents. And so that's wrong.
May future historians hoping to unlock the mysteries of late Empire Washington study that clip because it will reveal everything. That very same Mike Pompeo, the one who's sneering at Donald Trump on TV this morning, that guy served Donald Trump as both CIA director and as Secretary of State. Those are the two most powerful jobs in the federal government. And as he worked in those jobs, Pompeo promised, in fact, he swore to support the president's agenda. Why? Because that's the way a democracy works. You vote for a candidate in the belief that his appointees will carry out the policies that you voted for. It's not about the president, it's about you, the voter. But Pompeo didn't do that. He didn't even try to do that. In fact, he undermined Trump's often stated commitment to peace and non-intervention abroad at every turn. His every waking hour was devoted to fomenting war in some faraway foreign country or other. Iran, Syria, Russia, North Korea, the list goes on. But rather than telling Trump that he disagreed with his ideas, as a man would, Pompeo toadied up to Trump, a man he despised, in the oiliest, most over-the-top way imaginable. Ask anyone who worked in that White House at the time. Who is the appointee most likely to tell Donald Trump on a daily basis that he was handsome, virile, sleek, and powerful? Mike Pompeo. That will be the consensus answer. Those of us who saw firsthand Pompeo's relentless kowtowing will never forget it. It was indelibly repulsive. No one with self-respect could do something like that. But Mike Pompeo did it effortlessly, with relish and verve. Now, this same person is telling Fox News viewers that he fears for the safety of our military, our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, in the approved phrase, because Donald Trump took some classified documents home and didn't immediately return them to the National Archives? What a lie that is. Mike Pompeo knows that's a lie. He spent his entire life in Washington. Washington is a city where internal memos about Labor Day are classified because everything is classified. Your government has classified more than 1 billion federal documents, most of them boring and pointless and a danger to no one, and locked them away in secret where you can't see them because you may be an American citizen, but not really, and therefore you don't have the necessary clearances to know what's going on. And by the way, none of this is done in order to make America safer, any more than COVID restrictions were designed to keep you healthy. No, it's a caste system. That's the point. And you're the untouchable in this hierarchy. Mike Pompeo knows that. Everybody who works in Washington knows that. How many secret documents do you think Dick Cheney took home with him while he was running the Iraq War? How many did his wife read? She never had a clearance. We'll never know the answer because there is no chance Dick Cheney will ever be investigated or his staffers will be told to wear wires in his presence. He will never be indicted for this. Of course not. Dick Cheney is a neocon. Donald Trump is not. Dick Cheney supports war with Russia. Trump does not. That's the difference. The rest is just a distraction. The prosecution of Donald Trump is transparently political. He's literally Joe Biden's main political opponent. He's polling over 60% among Republican voters right now. So Joe Biden is doing what no president has ever dared to do. He's using law enforcement to lock up his chief rival. That's happening right now. Anyone who denies it's happening is lying to you. But actually, it's worse than that. Trump's prosecution isn't just political, it's ideological. Nobody with Trump's views is allowed to have power in this country. Criticize our wars and you're disqualified. If you keep it up, we'll send you to prison. That's the message Washington is sending. Not just the Democratic Party is sending, but both parties are sending. Like so many Republicans, for example, the supposedly conservative governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, spent yesterday totally ignoring the destruction of the American justice system. Instead, he signed a highly important bill called the Crown Act, which, according to the celebratory tweet Abbott sent commemorating it, will, quote, prohibit discrimination based on textures and hairstyles historically associated with race. In other words, in Texas, cornrows are now protected by law. Having unapproved views about Ukraine is not. That's fine with most elected Republicans. They find Trump tiresome and embarrassing. Their donors hate him. They will not be sad if he dies in jail. But what about voters? What are they learning from this spectacle? Well, mostly they're learning that they have no power at all because nobody cares about them. But they already knew that. Unlike so many of our elected leaders, they have been to America recently. They know what it looks like. Have you seen it? If you've got a few days this summer, find out. Take a road trip and see for yourself. Drive 500 miles in any direction and then come home. How are things looking? Well, they should look great. The federal government spent $6.5 trillion last year. That's more than any government has ever spent, ever. So at the very least, you would expect pristine public roads. Oh, no. That's not what you see when you drive around this country. There are potholes and Jersey barriers everywhere. Looks like Tegucigalpa before the Chinese decided to rebuild the infrastructure of Honduras. We don't have China buying our roads. So they're falling apart. You'd think the people you would pass on your road trip would look happy and prosperous. Again, this is a very rich country, but a lot of them don't. Quite a few appear to be strung out on drugs. You see them shuffling by shuttered storefronts in small towns. And you wonder, as you see all of this, where did all the money go? It's certainly not here. Well, it's in Washington. It's in Fairfax and Loudoun counties and in leafy, perfectly manicured Northwest DC. And of course, a huge chunk of it went to Ukraine, to Zelensky and his friends. Not because you voted for that. You didn't vote to give it to them. You never would. But because Joe Biden and his many allies, from Chuck Schumer to Mitch McConnell to Paul Ryan and every single news anchor on all of television, all of them believe that Ukraine, its borders, its future, its infrastructure are all more important than the town that you live in. They sincerely think that, and it's obvious. Everyone in power thinks that, except for Donald Trump. Whatever else you say about him, Trump is the one guy with an actual shot at becoming president who dissents from Washington's long-standing pointless war agenda. And for that one fact, they're trying to take Trump out before you can vote for him. And that should upset you more than anything that's happened in American politics in your lifetime. Even if you don't plan to vote for Donald Trump, even if you would die before voting for Donald Trump, which is your right, and a lot of good people feel that way, even still, the destruction of our democracy, which is the right of voters to support any candidate they want, even candidates who don't want war with Russia, the destruction of that should keep you up at night. Yes, Donald Trump is a flawed man, but his sins are minor compared to those of his persecutors. In this life, we don't get to choose our martyrs. We can only choose our principles, and America's are at stake.
Wow, that was good.
That was good. LG in the chat says Huber, Huber, is a privilege that allows an inmate to go to work while they are incarcerated.
Really?
That's what LG says.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I often think about some of these characters. They come out of Gitmo, they put them on stage to do what they have to do, and back to Gitmo they go.
Yep.
And I often think about that with Moron's wife's lovely shower curtain dresses she wears.
Oh, jeez. She is just a fashion
Nista?
Well, I'm trying to think fashion killer. What was I? A fashion
bomb?
There you go. Yeah. Yeah,
Right, Tracy
Go
Q
ahead.
sent me this one, Diamond, this Q post. It's about being unsealed.
Okay. Am I up?
Yep.
Okay. 3716, December 17, 2019. First indictment, in brackets it says unseal, will trigger mass pop awakening. First arrest will verify action and confirm future direction. They will fight, but you are ready. Marker, and then in brackets is the number 9.
We are ready.
So anybody, what is marker 9?
You need
Anybody
somebody
know?
a little bit more educated on these things
Yeah.
than me.
Let me see. Marker 9. What is?
Hi, Joanne. Hi, Georgia Cracker.
Okay, no, they just give me okay. UCV Civil War Military Operations marker number 9. It says this is a marker number 9 in a series of obelisks erected in 1910 by the Jefferson County camp. But I don't think that's what they're talking about.
What about Unseal 9?
What is it? Unsealed?
Unseal 9.
Okay, let's see. Unseal. It just brings up unsealed, and it brings up Trump's thing today. That's Googling.
That's all right, Diamond.
Yeah.
Hey, Adam. Good to see you.
I got your text message, Nikki, and we're good to go for tomorrow morning.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right, guys. Well, I've been on for 3 hours and 3 minutes, so I think I'm going to end this.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. Well, waiting on Mr. T was...
Yeah, 2.5.
So I'm going to say goodnight to everyone. Thank you so much, Diamond, for joining me tonight. And thank you, everyone who stuck around with us and crowd watched with us and laughed. And thank you. Thank you all for coming.
Have a blessed rest of your night, everybody. Thanks, Nikki.
Oh, yeah, of course. Have a blessed night, everyone. See you guys soon. Good night.